Very good morning, guys. A very good morning to all of you, and a very good morning to my online friends as well. How are you guys doing? All good, all okay? Under control? Wonderful. So, I prepared almost half of your question papers. So, I told you that I'll be taking a test, both MCQ as well as the mains, because these days there is one change which I have done in this year's lectures. So what I earlier used to do was, for example, I used to teach a small topic and a test. Then I realized that UPSC is not asking those kind of questions. At least the pattern has changed this year. So when I was looking at the question, I realized that one question will have content from at least 3-4 topics. Unless you practice it, it won't be possible in the exam to immediately look at the question and answer. It becomes difficult. So we should practice like that also. So this year, my inclination will be 70% of questions which we are going to practice will have content from 3-4 different units. 30% or let's say 35% will be conventional question, because you cannot rule out the conventional also. You never know UPSC mood, what happens. So not audible. Am I audible to my online students? The volume बढ़ा सकते हैं. You can increase the volume a little bit. All right, thank you. So guys, that is why I had to prepare a new set of questions for you, where questions from 1 or 2 or 3 themes will be combined, which means the content coverage has to be really good. So today we are going to do MSMEs, and hopefully by tomorrow we should be able to do a lot of startups as well, so that when we have this solid content in our hand, we can do answer writing as well as MCQs in the class. So the extra session which I told you, I'll inform you tomorrow by asking the office which slot is available. So that session won't be a teaching session, that will be only a test session. MCQ test, discussion, mains answer writing, etc. Nothing more. So, and as usual, our classes will be Monday to Thursday, right? Without any break, unless it's a national holiday and we are compelled not to come. So we would not like to take a break, because continuity has to be maintained. So please write MSMEs. By the way, are you guys revising? Because seriously, are you guys revising? No? To my online students, revising? Good. Because revision is very important. And have you brought your data book? Is it ready? Awesome. So guys, please write. Very nice. Good. Revision is the key. Very important. So please write micro, small and medium enterprises. Likhe micro, small and medium enterprises. Micro, small and medium enterprises. So one of your friend was asking previously, I think last class I missed out and couldn't answer. It got out of my mind that how much is the change this year compared to last year. So I taught a previous batch as well. So your friend was asking how much is the change. Approximately, if you ask me, looking at the new pattern of UPSC, around 30%. 30% will be a new content. So in fact, I gave you an example yesterday, the previous lecture where we were doing smart cities, etc. Plus there will be many more. Like in MSME itself, you will see a lot of changes has happened, and the changes are so subtle yet very, very important. So I think 30-35% changes. Taxation, there will be a lot of changes, big changes in taxation compared to what I taught last year. And these are the changes which Government of India will catch. So, and I would request that whatever content I'm giving you in the class, make sure that at least the handwritten notes that you are having, you should keep it to yourself. That gives you an edge in the exam. So that's one of the reasons that I'm focusing more on the class notes, etc. So make sure that you keep it and you don't circulate it. The reason being that I'm giving you some introductions and conclusions in the class in every topic. You can notice that. That should be with you, because that's your edge. How can you lose that? So micro, small and medium enterprise. All right, without wasting your time, this I always carry. So this is something which is for you. Pata hi hai aapko that a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handle the stress exceptionally well. So when do I use it? When I know that now the syllabus is going to put some stress over you, right? So handle the stress well, take it positively. You will feel everything is fine. Now, PLI positive and employment has the challenge of the journey creature. You understand, no, that one of the comment is there, so I'll just read the comment. So see, I told you in PLI scheme, see, think holistically, don't think in compartments. So for example, let's say I told you that after the PLI came, the government of India made sure that some of the sectors of India does well. Like example I gave you, that in the field of medicines, telecom, etc., we have been able to reduce the import of raw material and we have been able to become self-sufficient. Somebody must be producing those things. That means 100% employment would have increased in those particular things. Yes, that's a positive point. And the negative point is employment has increased in only selected pockets. That's the negative point. And yesterday I told you one important fact of life, that whatever is your biggest strength might be your biggest weakness as well. So in that sense, you have to see. Now, and no, there is no handout for today. And don't worry about the handout. Whenever the handout has to be given, I'll give it to you. But you will see entire handout being converted into class notes. Just for making sure that the content stays in your hand. Plus you get practice of writing. All right, so without wasting time, let's come here. I'll just take 30 seconds to remind you, you understand who this person is. Told you in the previous lecture, I won't waste your time. So Dr. Prabhat Kumar, he is the one who gave the National MSME Policy 2015. Your senior bureaucrat, IS officer, very learned man, like MSc Physics, Mathematics, Economics, everything, London School. So he has been one of the best. Still, he is giving services to Government of India in individual capacity. So MSME Act was drafted in 2006, but thanks to this man that it was amended. In fact, in 2015, he suggested the amendments. During Atmanirbhar Bharat 2020, the 2006 Act of MSME was actually fully amended. And a lot of changes that he suggested were incorporated. Great guy. These are the people who should inspire you, and you should idealize these kind of people to the extent that it helps you to serve the nation. One should not idealize every person to the extent of 100% because people have different sides. So we don't know what side, but the side that we are looking here, this side, is the one which is connected to your syllabus, and he's a good bureaucrat, a very neutral one. So we'll say that, okay, there are some things that we can learn from you. This is how you should. Now, without wasting time, let's come here. That's your definition part. So I will give you a question because bahut dhyan suniye, this is important. This topic is a favorite of UPSC. From this topic, two types of questions are asked. One, they will ask you define MSMEs, tell the problems of MSMEs, and what is the solution given by Government of India for MSMEs. This is one. Second question will be, they will pick up one specific section and they will say that what was the need to change the definition, what is its impact on the economy. This type of question is also asked. A third question could be a very factual question where they will say that analyze the contribution of MSMEs in the Indian economy along with large industries. Large industries, so we have done the PLI, etc. we did. So then they will say compare. These are the kind of questions that is asked. But how can you compare if you don't complete this? So what we are going to do is, this is the definition. So we'll draw this. I'll tell you when to draw. And then you will have to draw this. What is this? This is the best way. This is a template. आपको बताता हूं the magical part of the template. So if you have this template in your data book related to MSME, see minimum of literature. And if I tell you how to read this, then what will happen is, today I'm going to put some numbers here. So next year, when you appear in your mains examination, which is almost like 1 year away, almost 10 months. So when you appear in your mains examination next year, by that time, this data would have changed. You simply need to create a bracket and update the data. Template will be same. This is how you create a template and use it in your prelims mains interview without stressing out yourself that I don't know how to prepare it again. Do I need new notes? You never need new notes for at least these kind of things. Where concept has changed, you need new notes. So recently you have understood that in taxation, capital gains tax ka concept has changed. Obviously new notes. But this is data. There is no concept here, right? So these kind of templates I'm going to teach you in the class. You can use in your mains answer writing. So please write a question. Define MSMEs. Define MSMEs. Highlight the important changes. This is an important part, okay? Highlight the important changes in the definition under Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme. under Atmanirbhar Bharat scheme? That's the first question. Second question. Define MSMEs. Discuss the challenges faced by MSMEs in India. MSMEs in India. Explain some of the important steps. Explain some of the important steps taken by government to boost MSME sector, MSME sector. Guys, there are 2-3 things that I want to announce before we start this. Dhyan se sunega, listen to it carefully. This topic has a lot of connection with banking. It has a lot of connection with startups. And this topic also has a lot of connection with capital market. So I'm going to do capital markets separately. That's my favorite topic. We are going to spend at least 4 lectures there. Capital market in great details. This is one change which has happened. So the capital market which I taught last time and the capital market which I'll teach now, big changes have happened. Why a lot of scams have happened, new developments have taken place. Hindenburg has become, got something. SEBI chief something, government something. So we have to study all those details. We have to study the hidden concepts behind those allegations and scams that are there. So the capital market has to be really done in a very detailed manner. So that chapter is completely going to change. Obviously, the previous structure, some of it will stay, but majority of it will change. That's number one. Number two is we'll do banking separately as a unit, and we are going to spend a lot of time in monetary policy because that's UPSC's favorite. So we are going to spend a lot of time there. So today I won't do banking, today I won't do capital market because we can't do it in 5 minutes. But one thing we will do today, whatever is important from banking which is connected to this, there we are going to spend 10 minutes so as to establish the connection so that we know at the back of the mind, acha, this is connected. When we do banking properly and then we take this definition up and say, let's revisit that concept which we did on this particular occasion. But today we are going to spend 10 minutes on 2-3 small things, which is going to help us to have a connection between this and various topics. This is the new change which has happened in UPSC. Earlier, even I used to think that why will UPSC do this, but they are doing this now. So anybody who is studying this topic now will have to do the connection, establish the connection between 3-4 other topics. Then only your topic will be complete. That's one change which I noticed. Karenge, today we'll see the sample. So please write definition of MSME. Give a title, please. Definition of MSME. Definition of MSME. And from tomorrow, you have to bring highlighters in the class. At least 2 different colors of highlighters you please bring in the class. The time has come. And I'll also train you in one important thing. Take this point very seriously. It helps during the exam. It sounds very kiddish. It helps during the exam. There is something called negative list. What is the negative list in UPSC preparation? The negative list of UPSC preparation is are those things which give us trouble in conceptual understanding. So for example, let's say I teach you definition of MSME and there is one point where I'm speaking but you get stuck in the class itself. Now, suppose that after I tell you the definition, then I give you time that, okay, tell me if you have a doubt. And suppose you have a doubt and you ask the doubt, I clarify it. Trust me, the place where you got stuck will give you troubles after 3 months again. Because once you get stuck at some place, it keeps revisiting and it keeps troubling you in future also. So what you should do is immediately you should highlight it in the class where you got stuck, get the answer, no problem. But in future when you are revising that topic, those highlighted portions, so for example green or yellow, etc., that's your highlight. So those highlighted portions are your negative list, which you must revise before every exam. You create your negative list, please. Similarly, when you revise at home and you are getting constantly stuck at a particular point, you are not able to recall the data. Trust me, before exam also, during exam also, that will give you trouble. Once something is a trouble, it can be a trouble again, highlight it. So get a color code and tell yourself that this is my negative list, which I have to highlight before, whenever I am stuck, and before every exam, I have to at least revise that part. So if you have 5 hours before the exam to revise everything. If you have 5 minutes before the exam to revise your negative list, and you'll see the difference. That's one jugaad, okay? So from tomorrow, please carry, to online and offline students, please carry the highlighters. You can use multiple pens also, right? Definitely. So, did you write the definition of MSME? Now please draw this. Kijiye, fatafat, draw this please. Do you need to memorize this table? 100% yes. It has been asked in the exam already, in prelims and mains both. And if it is asked in mains, you have to be smart. You have to draw this table. How only one color or two colors highlighter, if you bring, that will be better. So when you draw this kind of table, same formula. Below the table, you can write what is the origin, MSME Act 2006, and big amendment done in 2020. So we are doing the amended part. So how do you spend rest of the day, guys? We never got a chance to talk. How do you spend rest of the day? Thinking about tomorrow? Acha, GS optional also. All right. So when do you do your optional? Immediately after this. 11 o'clock your optional starts. Here itself. But you have to travel also. Oh, optional plus 2 subjects. Wow, that's very nice. Good capacity. You're doing your CSAT as well? Yes. No? Yes? Doing? Good. Good. It keeps you healthy. Only economics. No, Manu, don't do only economics. Balance is required. Done? Sure, let me explain. So guys, see, it will take 10-15 minutes. Let's have a discussion, quick discussion. Note making will happen after 15 minutes. Let's have a nice discussion about all these things. But before that, yeah. AC, you can change this side, but don't change this side, huh? Is it, if it's possible? 24? Then don't change, because suffocation will happen. It's already 24 today. How will you manage then? Which place can you take? You can take this place, just after him, because that place will be better for you. Okay. It's 24 already? Yeah. Oh, cool. So, can we just write down this table? Yes. In the exam, if they ask you the definition, you can just write this table. Now guys, the story time. See, there is this large industry. Guys, please focus. There is this large industry. Now there is this. What is this? Micro, small, medium, and large. These are the type of industries that are there in India. Large, and these are the micro, small, and medium. What is the importance of this? The importance of this is, let me give you the first data related to these type of industry, and then you will understand why it is important, and it's a backbone of Indian economy. 51%, more than 50% of these, I call them as chotu industries. More than 50%, which is 51% of these industries are located in rural India. Do you see the importance now? Number 2, you understand that rural India has a typical problem. From your data book, you have to answer a question now. So rural India has a typical problem that people in rural India have small plot size. So can you please tell me the number of rural households? 89.4. Number of rural households which have small plot size, small and marginal. That number is 89.4%. You have to memorize this. So that's your 89.4%. Now, listen to it very carefully, because I am teaching you entire economics. So I take the liberty of establishing connection of this one with other things. So the first connection that comes to my mind, if I'm the government of India, very careful please. The first connection that comes to my mind if I'm the government of India is that these people have small plot size, so they cannot introduce big level technology in their field. They cannot even introduce big tractors, that's a problem. So what do I do then if I'm the government of India? I will think of something, some jugaad, so that I can take care of their income in a sustainable manner. So the first thing that comes to my mind is, why don't I promote something called as natural farming? And how do I promote natural farming? Natural farming would mean, first of all, I know that the land quality is not good because they cannot introduce any good technology, productivity, etc. Not possible. They don't have the money, frankly, to improve the quality. How can you improve the quality of this much of land? So what I do is I go to them and tell them that, hey, why do you only cultivate crops? Along with crops, why don't you do livestock? Why don't you do animal rearing if possible? So that two combination of crops plus animal rearing, and without adding anything externally in terms of fertilizers or manures, etc. Don't add anything externally. So for example, you have crops and you have crop residues. The residues and the leaves of the plant, they are left on the land only to decompose. In this kind of natural farming, you don't add anything externally. So if plants are there, residues, and let them decompose. Similarly, for example, if you are doing animal rearing and there is cow dung, put it in the ground, let it decompose naturally, let it get mixed with the soil. So difference between organic farming and natural farming is that in organic farming, you add something organic externally, but in natural farming, you don't do that. You do two things and you use the byproduct. Two things means crops and animal rearing, and you take their byproduct and let them decompose. So that natural reclamation of the soil energy and soil health takes place. Soil will reclaim its own nutrition and nutrients. So naturally, that's your natural farming. So what has the government of India done recently? In the budget, the government of India has made an announcement that government is going to bring 1 crore farmers under natural farming. That's number one. But we are doing industry. Why are we talking about natural farming? Because the number of farmers is not 1 crore. Almost 45.6% or 45.5% of India is dependent on agriculture and allied activities. Population of this country is 143 crore. Roughly 50% of India is here. Right? And we are saying that 1 crore natural farming. What about the rest? It's a big country. So what does the government of India do? Government of India goes to this field and realizes that, wow, there is a big problem. Problem is, first of all, every piece of land has extra people who are not contributing anything, but because we are brothers, sisters, cousins, etc. So there are 20 people in a small piece of land who are ready to cultivate, but the land size is this much. So 5 people are required, 20 people are working, extra 15 people. Those extra 15 people are not contributing anything to the land. Frankly, they are not even required there. So that's another problem which the government faces. Problem number one, small field size. To cure that problem, natural farming. But there is another problem, over-dependence, overcrowding of agriculture has happened. So when overcrowding happens, that's called as disguised unemployment, which means you are present in the field. It looks as if you are contributing, but your real contribution is close to zero. So if somebody will ask me that, what is disguised unemployment? I'll say simple. I am present in the field, I am present in the office, but when you calculate my contribution in the output will be next to negligible. I don't contribute. In fact, I will disturb you. So that's disguised unemployment. So government of India says, wow, it's two problems. Number one, the farming community here is not very rich, they're poor. Number two, they have to do natural farming, but there is limitation that government cannot bring everybody in the natural farming. It's their wish. Everybody cannot do animal rearing, and every field is not suitable for animal rearing. So that's another problem. Third problem is that you have disguised unemployment. One major problem is also there, that Indian agriculture is such that for 3 to 4 months, the farmers do not have anything to do. Majorly because, crop plantation has happened, harvesting has already happened, and those 3 months are practically that time period where major crop production does not take place. Some minor crops do take place, but not major. So for those 3 months, that's called seasonal unemployment. Our farmers, whosoever are actually busy for remaining 9 months, for 3 to 4 months, they have nothing to do majorly. So that's seasonal unemployment as well. So India has disguised unemployment. India has seasonal unemployment. India has 89.4% people who have small plot size. Technology cannot be introduced. Fear what to do about them. We can't leave them behind. So government of India says, if we promote this, this is so interesting. If we promote this, then these disguised people can be brought here. And then we can tell them that, hey, there is a bridge. So what you can do is we can provide them basic skill, and we can tell them that through absolutely basic skill, like you want to convert tomatoes into tomato ketchup, what high funda do you require? Nothing. Simple things are required. So we can provide them simple training. Aap bologe, how simple training? I'll tell you how simple training is provided. For example, have you heard of cooperatives? So for example, let's say that there is something called as urban cooperative, rural cooperative. So the rural cooperatives are called as primary agricultural credit societies, PACs. So what is the government of India doing these? Look at the beauty of this network that the government has created, primary agricultural credit society. So what is happening under this? A group of people come together in the village area, let's say 100, 200, 300 people, and they call themselves as cooperative, and they register themselves with the state government under the State Cooperative Society Act. And the state government gives them a written certificate that, beta, from today you are my cooperative. And what does the state government do? This I'll teach you later on. Vaise, this is a part of your GS paper too, but I will also teach you this in the class. So what does the state government do? The state government appoints one person called registrar. A registrar is appointed, and the state government says, this is my representative who will be present in your cooperative society. What is cooperative society? Group of 100 to 100 members getting together and starting a society. And who is the representative of the state government there? Registrar. Which means through registrar, the state government is controlling it. Now, what is the new proposal by Government of India in this year's budget and economic survey? New proposal is government says, look at the structure of India, complicated. So the government says, why can't we convert this cooperative society into a training center? So Government of India says that one part of this office will be dedicated as a training center where these people who are disguised unemployed, we will get them here through village panchayats, we will identify them and we will send them to PACs. Here basic training will be done, we'll shift them to this. That's beautiful, isn't it? Now, second part, the Government of India says, but imagine that these type of industries, 50% is present in the rural area, which means all the rural areas don't have it. In that case, what will you do? So then the Government of India says a proposal is there this year, and I think from next year it might be implemented, or maybe it is actually being implemented in 11 districts of India. I forgot to 11 districts of India, some north, some south, some east, some west. As an experiment, the government is doing this, 11 districts. So what is the government doing? Government is saying, if there is no food processing industry or this type of industry in the village, then the training that we are planning to give them is useless. So then government said, no, it's not useless. Then what we will do is, government is saying that there is a program by Government of India called as Jal Jeevan Mission. Jal Jeevan Mission. Under Jal Jeevan Mission, I'll give you dictation of all this when the right time comes. Don't worry, okay? Under Jal Jeevan Mission, try to understand the holistic picture. Under Jal Jeevan Mission, the Government of India has made a promise that government is going to provide tapped drinking water in every household of India, rural and urban both. Which means that everybody is going to get tap drinking water everywhere in India. That's the new target. Earlier, the target was restricted. Now it's 100%, which means every household is going to get tap drinking water. Now the Government of India is saying that since we are already giving it, 70% of the villages already got it according to government. Government is saying 70% villages already have the connection now. So government is saying if you provide tap drinking water, it is bound to develop problems. Sometimes tap will not work. Sometimes the pipe which is carrying the water will be clogged. Some problem will be there. So we need repair and maintenance. So government is saying that if there is no food processing industry in this village, then we will pick these people and train them here in PACs in something called as MRO, maintenance, repair and operation of taps. So government is saying I'll create plumbers in the village itself. And who will be the people who will be selected for this? The village youth, especially the disguised unemployed people. Are you understanding the structure we are trying to create? Because we cannot create big factories in every rural India. It is not possible. So either you wait for the good days to come or you create small good days. This is the framework which is being planned in India, at least now. So the plan is that either you take these people, put them here, or you put them in the PACs and train them. This is the holistic picture. Now do you understand how important this will be? And now do you see a connection between Jal Jeevan Mission and employment generation? These type of questions are asked in prelims. That which of the following is the potential benefit planned by government under Jal Jeevan Mission? A new benefit has come. Jal Jeevan Mission is being connected with employment generation. Very rarely do we discuss these things, and newspapers won't write them because it's not possible to explain all these things in newspaper article. But this has already happened. It is happening as a case study in India. Experiment is already taking place. So now we are going to discuss that what are these industries and why it is so important to promote them, because they are providing the bridge, the missing link between agriculture and services. Because one cannot have large industries everywhere. In that context, we are going to study. Abhishek, are you getting the picture? So now, did you also get a picture that when we do employment, what kind of enriched discussion it would be this year? Because last year I didn't teach this like this, because these things which I am telling you was not there last year. Last year, there was nothing called Jal Jeevan Mission connection, PACS connection with this. It was not missing. Government did not do any such thing. So how did I teach employment? I started with the definition of employment, gave some schemes, we discussed some concept, we discussed the trend. But this picture was not there at all. So this year, at least one extra lecture has to be there for employment to incorporate these new changes. So let's come back. And now let me tell you what is MSMEs. Dekhiye, look carefully. Some example. So guys, I'm giving you an example of a doctor. There is a doctor. This is my favorite example. I take it everywhere. So because my sister being one, so I will drag her in so many examples related to black money and MSMEs and everything. That's my revenge time because she's not listening. All right, so I'll tell you what happened. So guys, see, imagine that there is a doctor. Hey, you also, very nice. Don't take it too hard, okay? So imagine that there is a doctor. The doctor has just opened a small clinic like this. Dhyan se bacho, careful. Oh, you also, very nice. So many doctors in the class, right? So the doctor has just opened a very small clinic, 10 by 10 room, stethoscope, thermometer, etc. So basic things, injections, hammer, drill machine, all these things are there, right? If it's a dentist. Now, the money that has gone, be careful, bacho. The money that has gone to create this small clinic is called investment. Investment in gadgets, investment in machines. No big machine is there. X-ray machine, MRI, these things are not there. Simple clinic. So this is your simple clinic. The investment that has gone there is, let's say, 20 lakh rupees. 20 lakh rupees is I. I means investment. Now suppose the doctor is, looking at the patients, giving them treatment, medication, all those things. So the revenue means the fee collected after looking at the patients, the money collected by selling medicines, that's called revenue. So revenue, let's say, that is also called turnover. So revenue and turnover for us is same. So revenue means, for example, let's say that I sell this pen to you. Please try to understand. Why am I doing this? Because many of you are studying economics for the first time. So suppose I sell the pen to you and in return, you give me 10 rupees. You take the pen, give me 10 rupees. That 10 rupees is called my revenue or turnover. So, suppose the revenue here is 1 crore. Like, population of India is huge. So now this doctor tells the government of India that government of India, can you give me some benefits? Government of India says, what are you saying? What benefits do you require? So this doctor says that I'm not a very big industry. I'm not a very big entrepreneur. I have just started. So government of India says, no, but you are earning well. So this person says, I'm earning well, but I'm not earning very well like Gangaram Hospital. So I deserve some help. Government of India says, but help why? So this doctor says, I need help because I have to import some MRI machines, X-ray machines, ultrasound machines. These are the gadgets. I have to import ventilators. Uske liye to bhai, I need help. So government of India says, but you have 1 crore rupees. So this doctor says, this is not profit. This is revenue. Revenue means that I have expenses also. I have to maintain this facility also. Look at the price of oxygen cylinder. Look at the price of real original medicines. It's very costly. So the doctor says, hey, pura paisa to I have to spend in maintaining this, my staff, my people, training them. So sorry, that's not my profit. That's the money I'm collecting in my pocket. It's revenue. So government says, oh, that's why you need help. Because this entire 1 crore that you are getting is, let's say, 80 lakhs you are spending in maintaining only. I said, yes, because I have to maintain very good quality, hospital and work. So government of India says, I can give you help, but only when you register yourself in a specific manner. So Which manner is the government talking about? So government of India says that you, my friend, have to register with the, guys, listen to it carefully. The story will go for next 15 minutes. So the government of India tells this doctor that you have to register yourself as micro enterprise of India. So this doctor says enterprise. Enterprise means business. So government of India says, yeah, you are also doing a business. What kind of business? Are you doing a business related to manufacturing, trading or services? What business is this, guys? Services. So immediately government of India says, beta, enterprise is of 3 types. Enterprise means any business is of 3 types. Either you manufacture something or you provide services like consultancy, law, etc. Right? Or third is trading. Trading means like grocery store. You buy something and then you sell it to somebody else. You act like a middleman, right? That's trading. Wholesale trade, retail trade. There are 3 types of businesses. You fall in the category of services, which means you should register yourself as something called as micro service provider. So doctor says, why micro? So government of India says, that's the reason you are micro. Why? Because the investment that you have done is 20 lakhs. So the limit is less than 1 crore. So what is the meaning of micro enterprise? Guys, step by step we have to learn. Please focus. The meaning of micro is that those businesses where investment in plant, machinery and equipment is less than 1 crore and turnover is less than 5 crore. Investment 20 lakh, turnover means revenue 1 crore. Hence you are micro. So this doctor then tells the government of India, government, which portal, which website, which office do I have to visit? So government of India says, please go to Udyam portal. I will give you dictation of all this. So government of India says go to Udyam portal. So Udyam portal is maintained by Ministry of MSME. You simply have to go there, put your Aadhaar card, PAN card, immediately within 15 minutes you will get a certificate. The moment you get a certificate, then only you become eligible to take the benefit of all the government of India's scheme. So which means unless you register yourself on Udyam portal and you have a certificate, you can't get anything. Government of India says, sorry, I can't provide you any help. Okay, fine. Number 1. Just a second. Oh, basic things you can write yes and no like that, so that it's manageable. All right. So the first is that you can definitely get the help from the government, but you have to register yourself as Udyam portal. And how do you register yourself? You call yourself as micro service provider. That's example 1. Ab dekhna, look at the magic part. Next year, the doctor's business grows. And I told you that this is turnover. Turnover means revenue. Same thing for us. Turnover and revenue, same. So now next year what happens is more patients come to this doctor. Listen to it very carefully. More patients come to this doctor and the doctor realizes, no, this one room is not good enough. I need a better facility like this. So the doctor expands the business. While expanding the business, what the doctor does is the investment now becomes 2 crores because the doctor has earned a lot of money. So the doctor expands the business and see there are 3 clinics now. 2 crore is the new investment. So earlier it was 20 lakhs only, now it is 2 crore. And what is the new revenue? New revenue is 6 crore. Turnover is 6 crore. So you call it turnover or you call it revenue, same. So investment 2 crore, turnover 6 crores. Look at this. 1 to 10 crore is the category called as small. And what is the investment of the doctor? 2 crore. 2 crore fits here. And what is the revenue? Turnover. Turnover is 6 crore. 6 crore fits here. So your turnover wise and investment wise, you fit in this category. So next year, the doctor's status has to be upgraded, which means he or she needs a new certificate. And Government of India will say that every year I will check what is your investment and what is your revenue, and I will update you. So now the doctor will become small service provider. And you very well understand, anybody who is the weakest requires the maximum help. As you keep growing in life, the help that the government will give you will keep on coming down. So the maximum help that, I'll tell you which help, the maximum help that the government provides is this category. Slightly less help is provided here, and the least help is provided here. And when you become a large industry, fifth, the Government of India provides you different kind of help. Like when report is released elsewhere, I mean, you are safe. So different type of help for large industries like Tata's, Adani's, Hindenburg, Ambani's also. Right? So for them, different kind of help. Let's not discuss that. Oh, capital market, I'll teach you that. But here the help is monetary help, technology help, etc. Are you understanding? Next year, if the doctor becomes so big that the investment in plant and machinery is, let's say, 11 crores. Why? Because the doctor purchased MRI machine. MRI machine itself will cost you 2 crore rupees. So if you have like 5-10 MRI machines in your hospital, X-ray machines, ultrasound machines, so your investment falls in this category and your turnover will also increase. You will be called as medium service provider. So what are the 3 types of service provider that you will find in India according to this division? Micro, small and medium. There is a problem. Problem number 1. Problem number 1 is that suppose that the doctor falls in this category in terms of investment. Suppose the investment by the doctor is, ye example, 2 crore. Don't write anything. Let's learn it first. The investment by the doctor in plant and machinery is this. The doctor has already become big. But unfortunately, when the doctor has invested in new MRI machine, the patients stop going. Patients are saying, no, it's okay, fine. Let's go to somebody else. So revenue of the doctor is 3 crore. Turnover is 3 crore, investment is this. So now Government of India comes here and the doctor says, hey government, my turnover is this, help me please. It can happen. Your investment that you have made is this big size, but your revenue is not coming. You are not able to earn daily income. So then you need help. So you tell the Government of India, please help. If you are the Government of India, in which category will you put this doctor's clinic? This category or this category? Which category? Micro category. And you will provide more help. Which means that you will provide more cash to the doctor and say, doctor, because you are such a poor person, let me help you out. So imagine that you have started to provide cash. You give 20 crore, 30 crore, 50 crore subsidy to the doctor because doctor's revenue is very less. You keep pumping money, take a bag, put money, give it to the doctor. What will happen? Patients will start coming. The skill of the doctor will improve. So Government of India said, no. Your friend is saying, your doctor friend is saying no. Right? So what is the Government of India doing? Government of India is saying, sorry beta, I can't call you a micro doctor. I will call you a small doctor. He says, why? So Government of India says that you're not poor. You have resources. That is why you could invest. If you don't have money, how did you buy the MRI machine? The problem is your quality, productivity, and the way you are treating your patients. Improve that, work on your work ethics. Try to improve your ethics, try to improve your skill, try to treat the patients professionally, try to help them, be more empathetic. Don't be rude with the patients, they'll run away. The moment a patient comes, you sit with a hammer and say, come, welcome to my clinic. Nobody will come. Go to a dentist. What will they do? First, they will make you sit in a very nice, cozy atmosphere. A lot of flowers will be there, nice couch, paintings, everything will be there. And you'll say, wow, how beautiful the place is. And you'll see good faces all around. But you have no idea what they are going to do with you after that. Right? So you can see what experience I might have suffered. Right? So guys, so the Government of India tells this kind of doctor that, beta, your revenue is low, turnover is low, maybe there is some problem inside you. You are not poor, don't call yourself as poor because you have everything here. Improve yourself. So whenever there is somebody who falls in one category here, one category here, the higher category is taken for classification. So this is the rule. And who gave this rule? Dr. Prabhat Kumar. So between this and this, the higher entry is this. So the doctor will be treated as a small service provider. Similarly, I change this now. Similarly, suppose that somebody is here and here. Now imagine there is a doctor. Imagine this, that I am a doctor. I've just started my clinic and investment wise, I have very few gadgets. I belong here investment wise. But revenue wise, turnover wise, I have already reached here. Means every year I am earning 10 crore, 20 crore, 30 crore every year. Then I am calling you, you are the Prime Minister of this country. Hey government, please help, I'm a poor man. Yeah, why not? Right? So I wish that entire India was poor like this. Right? I wish that day comes, everybody earns 20, 30 crore rupees and call themselves as poor. Wish. Right? So what will you tell me if you are the Prime Minister? Beta, you have already reached here. How can you call yourself as poor? Why are you even asking for help? So because you are earning 30, 40 crore rupees a year, you cannot spend that much money. Of course you are saving it. So government says, I will compare this and see the higher side and I'll put you there. Are you understanding this system now? Which means when we make notes, what are we going to write? That whenever there is a confusion between the entries, we take the higher side for classification. अब आप बोलोगे, yeah, but it might be possible that corruption happens. वो तो हो ही सकता है. But I can't teach corruption. While teaching these things, I'm assuming that reporting is fine, audits are perfect, government is honest, doctors are honest. So I have to assume all this, right? So that's number one. Second, now guys, example. Suppose that I convert tomatoes into tomato ketchup. I'll just take 3 examples and then we'll start writing. Now suppose that I convert tomatoes into tomato ketchup. Fatafat, huh? Now initially I have a very small, let's say a very small building where I'm converting all these things. Building kya hai? That is my household only, ghar pe. I'm converting tomatoes into tomato ketchup. I'm just converting my tomatoes into tomato ketchup. And where am I doing that? I'm doing that in my household. Just one room I require to do it and I'm doing it there. What is the money that I have invested in creating that small household? Suppose that I have just spent 10 lakh rupees in my village. I got a nice shed where I'm doing all these things. Converting tomatoes into tomato ketchup. 10 lakh rupees investment, I fall here. And what is my total revenue? Let's say every year I'm earning 12 lakh rupees, 1 lakh rupees a month. So that's my investment and my turnover is, let's say, 12 lakh rupees a year. So what will you call me as? Micro service provider? What will you call me as? Micro trader or micro manufacturer? Micro manufacturer. Which means there can be a micro manufacturer, there can be a small manufacturer, and there can be a medium manufacturer. So I have told you 2 things. There can be micro service provider, doctor, small doctor, micro service provider, small service provider, medium service provider, micro manufacturer, small manufacturer, and medium manufacturer. And third category, suppose your faculty opens a grocery store. हो सकता है, outside Vajiram I can open a grocery store. What do I sell there? I sell bread, milk, eggs, sugar, tea, coffee. He's imagining all this. So I open a grocery store just outside this building, and when you come to my grocery store, what do? I offer you bread. I tell you, I take bread 20 rupees. What will you call me as? Manufacturer? I'm not manufacturing anything. Service provider? No. Service? Trader? You'll call me as trader. So micro trader, small trader, medium trader. Which means if somebody will ask you, beta, what's MSME? Now you are equipped to answer this question. What is MSME? MSME covers 3 types of activities. Which activities, please answer? Manufacturing, services, and brilliant trading. And what are the 3 levels of MSMEs? First is micro, second is small, medium. And whenever there is a confusion in the entry, which entry do you take? The higher side. What are the 2 eligibility conditions to be called as MSME? 2 eligibility conditions. Investment and second is turnover. Just based on 2 eligibility conditions, you are put in different categories. One glitch. And these are the kind of glitches that UPSC wants to ask in prelims as well as mains. You see, when the government of India realized during this part you have to listen to very carefully because this is a technical part and you will have doubts in this. Your first doubt will come from this part, and that I know for sure. But then again, there is a caveat. The caveat is if you listen to me extremely patiently and carefully, you will not have doubts. Lapse of concentration, huge doubts. So let me see what happens to you. Now, this is one MSME. Right. In fact, MSME, I am calling it as micro. Let's say this is a micro tomato ketchup seller. Look at the story I'm framing with you very carefully because this is real life. I'm taking an example from real life that what actually happens around us, because when you become an IAS officer, you will have to prevent these things from happening. So please try to emotionally connect with this story at this level. Huh? So for example, this is a tomato ketchup making factory, and what is it doing? It's called as micro. Why? Because to establish this, hardly 10 lakh rupees was used investment. And what is the turnover that is happening here? Let's say 12 lakh rupees every year. That's it. Now, this factory started to do well because its tomato ketchup brand became very famous. So next year what has happened is total revenue, its turnover increased, and its turnover has become 4 crore. So see, you have the definition. Investment less than 1 crore, turnover less than 5 crore. Even now it is micro. And this tomato ketchup factory is called as micro manufacturer. Government of India comes here and says, hey, you are doing well. So he says, yeah, I'm doing well. So Government of India says, why don't you export also? He says, why should I export? So Government of India says, if you export, then country will get dollars. Reserve Bank of India will get a lot of money. And when dollar comes to our pockets, forex reserves, when bad times come, at least we will have dollars. So he says, yeah, but why should I do it? right? So government of India says, please do it because country needs it. He says, no, but I don't want to take that headache. So government of India says, if you contribute, country will progress. He says, why will I contribute? Government says, please. He says, okay, then don't take any taxes from me, I will contribute. Government says, that can't happen, I'll take taxes from you. He says, then I will not contribute, I'll sell my product locally. So government of India says, keep selling your product, but at least some export, please. He says, not interested, because I feel export is very complicated, there is too much headache. Government says, I will help you. He said, I don't need help, because when I manufacture my tomato ketchup, I can easily sell in the local market. I don't need your help, I don't need to export. I have no ambitions like that. Government of India felt very humiliated and embarrassed that what is happening. I'm requesting, nobody is listening to me. And India wants to become an export-oriented economy. So there are people who are not listening to this because they are saying, we are in our comfort zone, why should we export? Tell me, give me one good reason why should I export? So then government of India, that's also a reason. Your profit will increase. He says, what's the guarantee? Government says, obviously there is no guarantee. So now what happens? Government of India makes plans. What plans? To motivate this guy to increase export. He's not interested in increasing export because this guy is not even understanding that at international level, there is going to be a huge demand for his product because entire world consumes processed food. So immediately government of India comes to him and tells him, beta, I'm launching a scheme for you. The first scheme is export incentive scheme, which means if you want to export, I will give you license and permissions free of cost. So absolutely free of cost. I'm not going to charge you anything. I'll give you one-page license so that you can export anywhere in the world. He said, and? So government of India says, and? If you need some bank loan for advertising, marketing, etc., rate of interest on the bank loan will be 2%. You get money for advertising, etc. also. He said, okay, good. Advertisement, very effective, very less costly. And government says, what to do? So he says, government, give me one solid reason which motivates me not to sell in India, but export. Government says, done. Do one thing. You use this money, that's your machine. Can you increase your production by a little bit? He says, yeah, I can do that. I can buy one more machine and my investment will become 20 lakh and I can increase my production. Government says, increase that. So currently you are selling worth 4 crore. Now imagine that you increase your production worth 2 crores, extra production. Government says, according to the rule, if your investment is less than 1 crore, it is 20 lakhs. And if your turnover is, let's say, 4 plus 2, 6 crore, you come here. You will be taken in the next category, which means the help will come down. So government of India says, but whatever you have increased, if you export it out of India, suppose that you don't sell it in India, you export, then government of India says that this part will not be included in your turnover. I'm going to give it for free. That go sell, I will not change your category. Which means government will consider only this 4 crore as your turnover and government will continue to keep you here. Because your investment is here already, see 20 lakhs here in this category, but your turnover will also be here. Government says, because your turnover is 4 crore and 2 crore export, so government says this export part I'm going to remove. I'm not going to add it here. Which means the word turnover that you see here, actually its formula is gross turnover minus export. What is gross turnover? Gross turnover is the total money collected by an industry. So what is the total money? 4 crore plus 2, 6 crore. That's gross. So we will write here 6 crore. And what is the export? Export is 2 crore. So what is your turnover or net turnover? 4. This is the turnover which is taken here. So government of India says whatever amount you export, I am not going to add it in your turnover. So your status will remain small, micro, whatever it is, and I'll continue to give you help. Now he says, I'm motivated. Government says, why are you motivated? He says, I'm motivated because you are giving a free license. You are giving me almost free money for advertisement. And plus, whatever I'm exporting, you are not including that in my turnover so that my category remains micro and you keep giving me help of micro also. I'm happy. Government of India says, bingo. And when did the Government of India do that? In the year 2020. Why did the government do that in the year 2020? Because of COVID, our economy was in a bad shape. And Government of India wanted to explore opportunities to sell in domestic market as well as export. So that is the reason that this definition by Government of India was expanded and changes were made. Do you want to know what happened after that? After that, the contribution of MSMEs in India's export, it increased to beyond 40%. So currently, roughly around 45% export out of India is because of MSMEs. And when this system was not there, at that time, the contribution of MSMEs in our export was 30%. There is a jump of 15% after this. Of course, it has given results. But has it given results only as a standalone policy? No. Because to export, you need technology. To export, you need good type of products, quality products, which means this is one step. The second step would be to make sure that the tomato ketchup that is being created here is of international quality. Then only your export will rise. Otherwise, the entire world will say, look at Indian spices, Singapore, etc., Hong Kong. You remember Indian spices? They started to throw it. They said Indian spices are toxic. So even if you try to increase your export, but your quality is compromised, nobody will buy it. So which means first thing is to motivate them to export. Second thing is to make sure quality is good. Then only this scheme will be successful. Oh, wait, what did I say? To make sure that the quality is good, which means you need another scheme. One scheme will be to remove this exported part from revenue. And second will be a scheme to improve quality. What is the name of the scheme to improve quality? The new name of the scheme of improving quality is called MSME Champions. MSME Champions. So that scheme I'm going to teach you today. Under that, what is done? Government of India prescribes a quality standard to them. If they meet that quality standard, Government of India gives them a certificate called as ZED, Zero Defect, Zero Effect. That's the certificate that Government of India gives them. And if any MSME of India has that certificate, entire world accepts that certificate that, oh wow, you are having the best quality of tomato ketchup. So on one side, government is saying, beta, whatever you export, I will not count it as your revenue. And second, to improve your quality, I'll give you a standard and a certificate. Combination of these two things will work. Has it worked? Yes, it has worked in last 2 years. So what is the result? The net result is increased contribution of MSME in exports. Are you able to see that picture now? So this I think we can write. Please write, I'll tell you more. Huh?
So is there any cap on the export part?
No. Currently no.
It can be 250
It can be two. It can be whatever.
I'm exporting 100% of
100%.
manufacturing.
Yes. For now at least.
It will not have negative impact on the
It
domestic.
might if it is for a very long period of time, but government never said that. These are the schemes which Government of India creates for a specific year, like let's say 1 or 2 years where we want to push the exports, and after that you will see that these things are toned down. These things are never permanent because you understand what is the negative side of it. Then what I'll do is I'll keep on exporting, and then I'll also take simultaneously the benefit of micro, which means I am going to put pressure on the Government of India. That's not a good thing. And as far as the domestic supply is concerned, it doesn't put any pressure because when the Government of India does these kind of things, the Government of India also makes an assessment that what is the type of products that MSMEs are creating and what is the global demand. So entire world is not going to buy Indian products. You understand the world is buying Chinese products. The world is buying Vietnam, Bangladesh, Thailand products, Singaporean products. So which means that we are just trying to put our footprints in the global market. So in the initial stage, this is one of the methods of pushing our products. Because if you start to give subsidy to them and tell them, hey, I'm giving you subsidy, increase the export, WTO will come and shut them down. You can't give subsidy. So one of the methods is that indirectly you try to motivate only for some time. You can criticize this if this continues, but you cannot criticize if this is the beginning.
Sir, it is already demand. Because product is in demand in domestic trade very highly. फिर भी मैं उसको अगर 100% एक्सपोर्ट कर रहा हूँ
नहीं, but ये तो assumption है ना. And how can everybody export? उसके लिए तो ये word देखो क्या लिखा है. और दूसरा क्या बताया आपको? MSME. I said something. MSME champions. Without that you cannot. And Government of India will not give you the license to do that unless you are top-notch quality. And when did that scheme come into picture? Last year. After that debacle, no, that spice, etc. drama started. Government of India said, "Ab I'm going to put controls," which means not everybody can do this. First, you need a certificate called ZED. The ZED certification itself is not achievable by everyone. Very selected handful of companies get that. which means that it looks very nice, but there are so many restrictions inside it that through this, the government of India is trying to motivate some selected type of MSMEs out of India, which should not create any problem in the domestic market. ठीक है? Cool. एक और figure आपको देता हूँ. That will give you an idea. So do you know what is the wastage of food grains and tomatoes and potatoes and vegetables in India? If we produce 100 kg of rice and wheat, what is the wastage? 35 to 40%. And what is the wastage of fruits and vegetable? If 100 kg fruits and vegetables are produced in India, roughly 18 kg is simply left to rot. What happens to domestic demand? If you convert that 18% rotting fruits and vegetables into tomato ketchup and export, what's wrong? Are you understanding the connections? Because we are already wasting 30 to 40% of our food grains and fruits and vegetables. So what if government of India says to this industry that, hey, see, anyway you are wasting it, countries, letting it rot. So I'm going to make sure that I supply those things to you, no export. That is also one of the reasons. So through MSME champions, you control them. Through ZED certification and license, you control them. And third, you are trying to motivate them by saying that, beta, you are selling in domestic market. No, go and buy the rotting fruits and vegetables. Otherwise, they will rot after 2 days. Usko khareed lo. You buy it, please, at cheaper prices. Why? Because many a times, if you go to Gujarat, Karnataka, Andhra, Odisha, Maharashtra, the price of tomatoes is 2 rupees a kg. Just 2 rupees a kg in these states. Go to Andhra and Karnataka and try to purchase tomatoes there. 2 rupees a kg, 1.5 rupees a kg. Go to Punjab and try to buy potatoes, 2.5 rupees a kg. Like go to Himachal, everything 2 rupees a kg. And what do people do? Throw it. Why? Because they say, who will sell? I don't need 2 rupees. So government is saying, you mister, you purchase those items, export, I will give you benefits. Abhi theek hai? Agriculture. Oh, मैं बताता हूँ. Because agriculture is a different sector. MSME is a secondary sector. Agriculture is a primary sector. No. Services are included in MSME because services are tertiary, which means we are including secondary and tertiary. But primary has to be different because of the nature. In primary, what happens is you don't use any big machines. Basically, you are using raw materials. So raw material cannot be combined with finished products or intermediate goods. That's different category. So what you can do is, instead of including agriculture, then it will become Indian economy. Because manufacturing included, service included, agriculture included, then don't call it MSME, call it Indian economy. Right. So what do we do is, people from agriculture can be brought here and you can try to provide them help through the scheme by giving them employment. So that way you can bring them. But you cannot bring the entire sector. And there is one more problem. The number of people who are dependent on agriculture is roughly around 45.5%. They don't pay taxes. The moment you bring them here, they will have to pay taxes. For everything, they will have to pay a tax. When the deal of agricultural land takes place, buying and selling, you don't pay taxes. But the moment agriculture is brought inside it, and you say farmers will also be included in MSME, they will have to pay taxes. It's a political question. So now imagine what will happen, right? So these are some of the problems. Okay, एक दो question यहाँ से let me take. Please pull it upwards. Then I'll give you dictation. But did you see that small points, if you combine them, it becomes a very big point, very big definition of MSME. And all these things have to be written for UPSC. चलिए ऊपर करते हैं थोड़ा. Let's take it a little up. Then wouldn't it impact the, already answered, Pankaj, that the government of India wants to increase the export, already answered. All right. Your friend was asking the same question. It makes sense also, maybe some service provider are under, true. That is also one of the things. Will the definition of MSMEs, okay, done, cool. So guys, tell me, all fine, all okay. If you do it, Achha, by the way, hadn't I told you about the MSME champions, and suppose I simply tell you that our government is providing help, etc., etc., don't you feel that the picture will be highly incomplete? No idea. What is the government doing? Why is the government doing? But once you add the champions wala scheme here and then try to visualize that, okay, the government of India is saying that, yes, they will help, but everybody will not get the help. If you maintain certain quality standards, government will come and do the audits, then government will give you the certificate and say, now you participate. So I think if you add everything, then it becomes a better picture. Now, remember I told you before I give the dictation that I'll tell you something related to banking also, thoda sa, and capital market also. But that I want to tell you after giving you some dictations on this. 10 minutes, please write. That the MSMEs the MSMEs in India are defined. MSMEs in India are defined on the basis of two eligibility conditions. On the basis of two eligibility conditions. Two eligibility conditions. Number one, investment in plant, machinery and equipments. Investment in plant, machinery. Investment in plant, machinery and equipment. And number two, turnover. Put a dash in front of turnover and please write. Turnover for this definition excludes exports. Excludes exports. Now please write the formula, guys. So either you can call it as TO, turnover, or total revenue, same. So please write TO, turnover or total revenue is equal to, that's the formula, TO, turnover or total revenue is equal to gross turnover minus export. Gross turnover minus export. ये ठीक है? Gross turnover minus export. Gross turnover minus export. Change the paragraph, please, and then write that MSMEs cover MSMEs cover three types of activities. MSMEs cover three types of activities. Number one, manufacturing. Number two, trading. In the bracket, please write retail trade and wholesale trade. Retail trade and wholesale trade. Retail means you sell limited number of goods. Wholesale means huge amount of goods. Retail trade and wholesale trade. Close the bracket, please. Third, please write services. Now, please write some facts related to MSMEs in India. Some facts related to MSMEs in India. Some facts related to MSMEs in India. MSMEs in India. Number one, total number of MSMEs is equal to total number of MSMEs. This is your data book entry also, right? After you write in your notebook, you have to write in your data book also. Total number of MSMEs is equal to 6.3 crores. 6.3 crores. 6.3 crores. Not lakhs, crores. Number two, the number of registered MSMEs. The number of registered MSMEs is equal to 4.4 crores. 4.4 crores. By the way, let me tell you one figure which I read in the newspaper. The Ministry of MSME has mentioned in the newspaper that they are expecting that by next year, June and July, the number of MSMEs in India would become 7.5 crores. They are saying because new MSMEs are developing in India, so they are saying there will be increase of 1 crore by next year. Similarly, the number of registered MSMEs will also increase. But currently it is 6.3. So when I took the data from the portal, so we will write 6.3. But you understand, every day new companies are registered. So should you update your data every day? Should you become so obsessed, every day open the portal, update 6.3, 6.31, 6.32? Why? We will update, let's say, when the budget and the economic survey comes next year, 1st of February. So you'll open a chapter called as industries there, and you will see a nice table. That table will tell you this year the number of MSMEs is 7.5 crore. Just change this in your data book and done. Because you know which figure you have to look for. Now you know the figures. It's very simple. Google, you'll find it next year, 1st of Feb. In between, don't do that. We can do it, but wastage of time. All right, we can put that tilde sign also. Very nice. We can put this sign also. Did I tell you about this sign? So then we can put around 6. Very nice. Third, please write. Third, so 2 facts we already written. Third, what did I tell you? That if you are MSME and you want to take the benefit of government schemes, what registration is compulsory? Udyam registration is compulsory. There is no exception. You have to do that. So please write Udyam registration. Udyam registration certificate is compulsory for MSMEs to get the benefit of government schemes. Now guys, I'm going to draw a picture. How many points have we written? Please write the 4th point and give a title. In the 4th point, please give a title. Facts only. Priority sector lending. And if you recall, I told you that the details of priority sector lending I'll teach you when I teach banking. I'll teach you that in a technical manner when we do banking, but today we have to understand the holistic meaning of priority sector lending so that we can apply it. So please write priority sector lending, PSL, as the 4th point under facts. And then you please draw this picture. On the left side of your page, you should draw these two. This is your RBI headquarters office, and that's your State Bank of India or SDFC, whatever you want to call it as. State Bank of India. Pankaj, wait, we'll do it slowly. So SBI or HDFC, anything you feel like, okay? Now, see, I have a story for you. For that, you need to draw some pictures. Call it as farmer, call it as renewable energy, weaker section, startups, street vendor. I have taken some examples. You should also draw this. Renewable energy. Anybody who is producing solar energy, owner of a solar energy park. So renewable energy means, suppose I have a solar energy park where I am generating solar energy and selling it. So that's your renewable energy. Startup I am yet to teach you. So hopefully tomorrow we'll do startups. So farmer, street vendor, renewable energy like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy. Weaker section. This one is weaker section. Economically weaker. Then you have street vendors. That's your street vendor. And then there's your startups. What has the government of India done for them? Something interesting. Listen to it carefully, please. Whenever these people know, these people together are called as disadvantaged. There is a word which is used for them in the context of banking, okay? Because in different chapters and different subjects, the word disadvantage means different things. But for this particular topic, the word disadvantage would mean that we are talking about that sector which finds it very difficult to convince a bank to give them loans. So now imagine that somebody has just opened a new company, like you have opened a new company today itself. Immediately you jump to SBI and you tell SBI that SBI, can you give me loan? What will they tell you? They'll tell you, beta, wait, lunchtime. right? And then you start to convince them, "Oh, please give me some loan." They will tell you that you are very risky. You have just started your business. You will say, "No, but I have huge potential." So SBI says, "I don't give loan based on potential. I give loan based on performance." You will say, "I am a new person. I have just started my industry. How can I perform in one day?" So SBI says, "Yeah, then don't come to me after one day. Come to me after 5 years, 2 years." Then you tell SBI, "Well, if you don't give me money, how will I survive for next 2 years?" SBI says, "Not my headache." This is how the banks will treat you if you are a new entrepreneur. They don't respect you because they feel that potential should not be rewarded, only the performance should be rewarded. That's very bad. Go to SDFC and tell SDFC that I need a loan. SDFC will tell you, "Okay, I can give you loan, but bring some huge property papers, etc. as collateral. Put some property papers as a guarantee, take loan." Then you will say, "If I had property papers, why would I even come to you? I will sell my property. Why would I come to you and pay you high rate of interest?" So then SDFC says, "Sorry, I can't help you." They will not help you. And frankly speaking, if you are a street vendor, what property paper will you put here? There is no property paper. Weaker section, no property paper. 89.4% farmers of India, what property are we talking about? They are disguised unemployed. So which means it's become so difficult to come here to convince the banks. I'm not talking about this year or last year. We're talking about since last 60, 70 years. This used to be the problem. So what did RBI do? RBI found a jugaad. RBI said, "Okay, since we are a society where social justice has to be provided. Article 46 to 51 of the Constitution. We are talking about DPSP principles. And DPSP says, yes, obviously, DPSP says that we have to provide equal opportunity related to employment, distribution of resources and wealth, and we have to reduce inequality in the society. So idea of justice as well as equity, DPSP. So Reserve Bank of India said, by following that idea, Reserve Bank of India called them and told them, "You, Mr. SBI and SDFC, whosoever is the bank in India, whether Indian bank or foreign bank, if you are present in India, we'll do that in banking in detail, but whosoever you are, doesn't matter. If you are giving 100 rupees, let's say, as loan," listen to it carefully, bacho. Every year, Reserve Bank of India asks them, "You, Mr., suppose you gave 100 rupees as loan to somebody in the economy, then it is compulsory that out of this 100 rupees, 40 rupees, at least 40 rupees must be given, which means 40% must be given to this list of disadvantaged people, and remaining 60% you can give to anyone you feel like." That's the rule. So the rule is, out of your 100 rupee loan, so whatever loan you are giving, 40% of that must go towards these people. And the rate of interest should be market rate of interest, not exaggerated or very high rate of interest. It should be normal rate of interest. And RBI says, "I will keep an eye over you. Are you overcharging?" So 40% should go there, and remaining 60% can go to anywhere you feel like. Give it to Mr. Tata, I don't mind. But this 40% to them. Inside this 40%, 18% should come to farmers. 18% should come to farmers, which means remaining 22% has to be divided between these. Example, right? So for today, just write about the farmers. When I teach you banking, we'll see all the details. I have a table for banking where I show you all the entries, who gets what. But for today, have this holistic picture that out of this 40%, 18% goes to farmer, which means 22% will go to others. Which means total 40% has to be given to disadvantage. This is called priority sector lending. So this 40% is called PSL, priority sector lending. Now, when I teach you banking, that day I will tell you, today I won't dictate. Suppose that HDFC Bank or SBI has given 100 rupees this year as loan. They have given 60 rupees to some big businesses, etc. Remaining 40 rupees they were supposed to give to them. But unfortunately, maybe what happened is there was COVID kind of slowdown or something happened. These people did not go to bank. So now SBI was not able to give this 40 rupees. Government of India comes here and says, "Why didn't you give that?" SBI says, "Because people didn't come, etc., etc." Immediately RBI says, "Beta, I will not listen to any excuse from you. If you have not been able to give your 40% of this loan to these people, whatever is your shortfall, you are supposed to give 40 rupees to them, but suppose you gave only 10 rupees to them. What is the shortfall? 30. So RBI says that 30 rupees must be given to NABARD or some government agency for development of rural infrastructure. And the name of that scheme under which you have to give the money is called Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. So Rural Infrastructure Development Fund. So if you are not able to give 40% to them, suppose you gave just 10%, 30% is the shortfall, that 30% you have to give under Rural Infrastructure Development Fund, or you have to give it under any fund told by RBI. Currently, this is that fund. So in this fund, your money will go, and this money will be used for construction of infrastructure in India. And after 5 years, you, Mr. Bank, just like they would have returned your money, so similarly, RIDF after 5 years will return your money with some rate of interest like 2%. This is the rule. So rate of interest is also very low here, and you also get your money at least after 5 years. So every bank feels, why to wait for this? This is very bad. 2% in 5 years. Let's give the money to them. This is the rule. You can't escape this. And if you escape this and you escape this, your license is cancelled. So farmers have to get 18, which means out of 40, 18% to farmers, which means the remaining 22% has to be given to this 22%, total 40%. And what is PSL? Priority Sector Lending. Government of India played a game. What did the Government of India do? Government of India, bahut dhyan suna bachcho, this is very interesting. This word that you see, street vendor, was not placed here. Street vendor was never a part of it. So what did Government of India do? Actually, in this category of disadvantaged section, MSME was a part. So you please encircle the word street vendor and you please write MSME over it. I'll tell you what is happening. Street vendors were never a part of this. Who was a part? MSME. MSME. So what did Dr. Prabhat Kumar do? Dr. Prabhat Kumar suggested to the Government of India that government, there is a section in the society called as street vendors, and India does not have a dedicated scheme for street vendor. That scheme came only in 2020. What is the name of that scheme? PM Swanidhi. PM Vishwakarma is not for street vendors. PM Vishwakarma is for 18 types of artisans. That is not for street vendors, like plumbers, carpenters, etc. That's the scheme. And Swanidhi is a scheme which is for street vendor, but it came in 2020. But before 2020 only, Dr. Prabhat Kumar in the year 2015, he suggested to the Government of India, at that time there was no scheme for street vendors. There is nothing called Swanidhi. So I'll teach you Swanidhi also, since you already taken the name, I'll teach you that today itself. In 5 minutes, I'll give you the scheme. So what did the Government of India do? Dr. Prabhat Kumar told the government, there is a category called street vendor. You have neither included them under this list of disadvantage, nor are they considered to be any entrepreneurs or business community. They are not getting help anywhere and they remain poor. And where do you find street vendors? Mostly in urban areas. So urban poverty that you see in India, they are a part of urban poverty, urban poor. Most of the street vendors in India, they are having disadvantage because municipality also kicks them away. They have to pay so much of bribe for survival. That's a very bad thing. So Dr. Prabhat Kumar told government, why don't we do one thing? Let's bring street vendors under the definition of MSME. Government said, wait, street vendors as MSME? He said, why not? Because MSME is of 3 types: manufacturing, services and trading. So your street vendor can be a part of trading. Government said, okay. But Dr. Prabhat Kumar said, since they do not have any fixed setup, they do not have any registered place, we cannot give them license. So Dr. Prabhat Kumar said, let's have a new arrangement whereby, listen to it very carefully, whereby if any street vendor goes to a bank and says, bank, can you give me 20,000 rupees, 50,000 rupees, 1 lakh rupees, there will be a limit put. I'll tell you the limit later on. So if any street vendor comes here and says, can I get like 1 lakh rupees because I have to buy new quality of raw material and I have to buy a new shop. I don't want to roam around. I want to create some good business. So this bank can turn this request away and say, sorry, we have nothing for street vendors. So now Government of India, Dr. Prabhat Kumar said, let's make a change. The moment a street vendor goes there, immediately this bank will have to treat a street vendor like MSME. So just like you are giving priority sector lending money to MSME, by default, street vendors is equal to MSME for priority sector lending purposes. So if I'm a street vendor selling samosas on the road, and if I go to a bank and say, bank, can you give me some money? I want to buy a refrigerator, etc., a big machine, microwave, oven, etc., or a gas stove to prepare better samosas. So this bank might say, sorry, we have nothing for you. Sorry, fund is over. We don't talk to people like you. I'll say, acha, you don't talk to people like me? Do you know that I'm a part of MSME now? I'm a trader. So bank says, I don't know. Then I will say, look at the Government of India's new definition of PSL, because that definition must have been given to you by RBI. RBI is the mom and dad of banking. So RBI gives the direction to bank and says, please consider street vendors as a part of trading community under MSMEs. So when a street vendor goes to bank, this bank will have to treat this street vendor just like MSME and release the funds. Just like you treat MSMEs, you have to treat your street vendor. But for what purpose? Only for the purpose of priority sector lending. For other purposes, whatever schemes are there for MSMEs, they don't apply to street vendors. So I'll teach you MSME champions today. I told you MSME champions, that doesn't apply to street vendors. So only scheme of MSME which applies to street vendors is priority sector lending. That's it. For any other purpose, street vendor is different. So in the year 2015, the Prabhat Kumar committee suggested to the government, please bring street vendors under it. Government accepted that. So in the year 2016, government accepted. But there is a problem. What did I tell you? That the limit of priority sector lending is 40%. Remember 40%. So it might happen that I'm a street vendor. Listen to the problem of the society. I'm a street vendor. I come to this bank. Bacho, very careful. I'm going to ask you a very tricky question. I'm a street vendor. I come to this bank and I tell the bank, am I eligible to get this 40%? Bank says, wait, what did you ask? Am I eligible? Yeah, you are eligible. Because you are a street vendor, you are eligible. Oh wow, I'm very happy that finally I'm eligible to get this 40%. So I tell the bank, I'm eligible. I repeat, am I eligible? Bank says, yes, you are eligible. I asked this question 2 times. Am I eligible? Bank says, yes, you are eligible because you are a street vendor. You are eligible for 40. Then I tell the bank, give me my 40%. Which means out of this 40%, give me 1 lakh rupees. Bank says, that I can't. I tell the bank, why? So bank says, beta, before you came, the bank has already given entire 40% to others. You are little late. And by rule of RBI, a bank is supposed to give every year only 40% to them. 40% exhausted, done. First come, first basis. So I'm not getting the money now. So am I eligible? Yes. Will I necessarily get? Depends. If I go to the bank and bank has exhausted its entire 40, fifth, I'm not getting anything. But if bank has not exhausted this entire 40, something is remaining, then I get it. But am I eligible? Yes. Is it necessary? I'll get it. No. Which means Government of India in the year 2020 decided to create a new scheme for street vendors and say, problem is there because when street vendor goes there, most of the time we see that this 40% has already been exhausted. Where will the street vendor go, bichara? Where will that person go? Hence the Government of India designed a new scheme called as Swanidhi. What is Swanidhi? So under Swanidhi, what Government of India, I'll give you a dictation. So under Swanidhi, what the Government of India does is, so for example, let's say there is a street vendor. So Government of India says, you Mr. Street Vendor, you first have to go to your municipality and you have to get a license from municipality, an I-card kind of thing, which only municipality is supposed to give you. And the moment you register yourself in the local municipality that you belong to this municipality, carry that card and go to the portal of SIDBI. What is SIDBI? Small Industries Development Bank of India. SIDBI works under Ministry of Finance. So guys, after the class, if you Google, if you go to portal of SIDBI, you will see under SIDBI's portal, there will be a small tab. In that tab, it will be written PM Swanidhi. So if you are a street vendor and you have this I-card, who gave you the I-card? Municipality. Log into this portal under Ministry of Finance. Put a scanned copy of your card there. The moment you put a scanned copy, immediately SIDBI will tell you, ask you some questions. Do you need loan? Obviously, I need loan. I'm a street vendor. I'll say yes. Immediately, SIDBI's portal will give me a list of banks where I can go and take 10,000 rupees as my first loan. And for that 10,000 rupees, do I need to put any guarantee? No guarantee. Nothing required. I can simply get that 10,000 rupees in my account. What is the rate of interest that will be charged from me? It's a loan for which I don't have to give any guarantee or collateral. It's collateral free. This 10,000 rupees will come at a rate of interest. So suppose SIDBI tells me that beta, you go to HDFC and take your 10,000 rupees. I will say, I'm going to HDFC. I went to HDFC. I said, HDFC, give me the loan given. I'll ask HDFC rate of interest. HDFC says, whatever is the market rate of interest, this is market, minus 7%. So this 7% is the interest subvention. So this 7%, which is the minus 7%, is the interest subvention. Subvention means subsidy. So if market rate of interest today, I can tell you today's market rate of interest. Today's market rate of interest is 15% for personal loan, by the way, 15%. So if I'm a street vendor, they will calculate 15 minus 7, which is 8%. This is my rate of interest under Swadhyati. And suppose that I made a promise to them that I will return this money exactly in 10 months. This promise I have to make. The time period that is given to me is for around, let's say, on an average 5 to 7 years. 5 years is okay. 5 years is the average time given. But suppose I tell them, no, I don't need 5 years. I'll return it 10 months, which means every month my EMI will be 1,000 plus this interest. And that will be my EMI. 10 months I have to return the money. So which means 1,000 rupees per month plus interest rate. If I return my money, through UPI, I go to the bank and say, physically I will not give you money. I'll make my payment, through UPI. The moment I make my EMI payment through UPI, immediately I will get a cash back of 100 rupees. Which means in 10 months, every month I get a cash back of 100 rupees. So 100 into 10 months, 1,000 rupee cash back given. This is the facility. So guys, this scheme which I taught you is called as, what is it called as? PM Swanidhi scheme. This is the first money that I get as loan. And suppose I successfully return this money. The moment I return this money, again after a few months, I feel that I need loan again. But since I have returned my previous money, my credit score has improved. Now if I go to SDFC bank and say, hey SDFC, can you give me loan again? SDFC will say, beta, now I will not give you 10, you are eligible for 20,000. I say, wow, 20,000. They say, yes, your credit limit has increased because you successfully returned the previous 10. Same conditions will apply. Rate of interest is equal to market rate of interest minus interest subvention. Market rate of interest changes. This 15% will change based on market conditions, but this minus 7% is fixed. So 15 minus 7, 8%. This time I get 20,000. When I return it successfully, and in future if I need more money, I can again go to the bank and say, bank, I again need money. Third time also I can go. Third time I will get 50,000. So first time, 10,000. Second time, 20,000. Third time, what is the cash back? 100 rupees on which transaction, physical or digital? Digital transaction, UPI transaction. Can you please tell me what is the interest subvention amount here? 7%. What is the formula of effective rate of interest? That's your effective rate of interest. Market rate minus interest subvention. This is the formula. Now this scheme is eligible for which section of the society? Street vendors. Wonderful. Now who gives the license to the street vendors? Absolutely. One of our friend is asking, what if this rate of interest is less than 7? It is never less than 7%. Because when I teach you banking, I'll teach you a formula called as external benchmark rate, where I will tell you that the repo rate of India is 6.25%. This is the rate. I should not be talking about this today because, the moment I go a little off track, I enjoy these things so much that I'll completely go off track and start teaching you something else. So don't even motivate me. But I'll tell you a little bit so that you have an idea. This is your regulator of India, Mr. Mom and Dad of banking. So they have made a formula in India. When I teach you banking, I'll tell you the details. The formula says that the minimum rate of interest that you will see in the society currently in the economy officially is 6.25, which is whenever you take a loan, you can't get it below 6.25. 6.25 is the cost. But no bank in India will give you loan at 6.25 because they have to incur this cost from their own pocket, which means they employ some people, they run this office, they have electricity, maintenance. Plus they need profit also. If you add everything, what they do is they will add 8% to it, or they will add 7%. If you know the branch manager very well, they will add 6.5% to it. So it will become somewhere around 13 to 15%, total 13 to 15%. So ठीक है, not 15, 13, not 13, 12.99, but if you know the branch manager very well, but you can't get it below this because this is the price that bank itself is paying. All right, but we will see all these things later on because otherwise we'll become slightly off.
What if under the PLI scheme, what if the bank deny that all the 40% is exhausted to street vendors because street vendors has not guaranteed?
That I already told you that you are eligible but not guaranteed. Then the street vendor will have to go for Swanidhi. Because if you put other conditions on the bank and compel them, they will shift their office to Singapore or China. Banks are multinationals.
There's a governance problem, right?
No, there is no problem. Because, for example, if I compel you to study economics whole day, what will happen? You'll stop coming to the class. So, which means that you have to balance out the well-being of every section of the society. For example, to provide benefit to street vendor, I can't kill my banks and industries. And to provide help to my industries, I can't kill the street vendor. So the problem of the government, any government in India or across the world is, you have to balance out the welfare of every section of the society. So for example, if government of India becomes, I'll tell you a theory, if government of India becomes very harsh for industries, you know what industries have done in last 3 years? They have shifted their office to Singapore. That concept where the government of India has been increasing tax burden on the industries, they shifted their office is called as flipping. So what industries do is, in India, government puts a lot of taxation, angel tax, corporate tax, cess, surcharge, random audits, plus corruption money. So what do the industries do? Industry, acha, India, you are doing this to me. Take the office, shift to Singapore, tax free. And now when they send anything to India, they will say, Government of India, now I'm not your company. You can't put any charges against me. So now I'm tax free. So what will happen? Now the entire jobs that will be created will be outside India. I can give you an example of Tatas. What have Tatas done? Government of India was putting a lot of restriction on them. Don't do this, follow this labor law, that labor law. They said, okay, thank you so much. Okay. After saying, okay, what did Tatas do? In the year 2023, very quietly, Tatas went to UK. And Tatas opened a factory, EV factory, electric vehicle factory, where they created 16,000 employment opportunities and they invested almost 3 lakh crores there. 3 lakh crore is the plan of investment of Tata, and the entire job that was created is in UK. Not even a single Indian is employed there. And then they told Government of India, enjoy. What did Government of India do? Immediately Government of India said, sorry, we are giving you tax breaks, come back. They said, we can't come back, we can create a new factory in India. You have to balance out. Governance is a big issue. For example, there are 2 children of a parent. Parents can't say that I will only take care of this child because the child is small. No. Elder child also wants to travel, go to college. You have to take care of that also. So, very nice. So please write. So what did I tell you? That today's lecture will be slightly different because you have to study and connect so many things. So what point are we writing? PSL, priority sector lending. 4th point. Chaliye, let's have a dictation. That RBI instructs the banks, to provide 40%, yes, PSL is the heading. RBI instructs the banks to provide 40% of their total loans, towards some disadvantaged sectors. Whose list is updated by RBI based on economic conditions. Full stop, please. So, bacho, what did you understand? So, there is some interesting part in the last part. It says RBI gives the list of disadvantaged section, but then we are saying the list is updated based on economic conditions, which means today, for example, startups, they are considered to be disadvantaged. But suppose every startup of India becomes very, very strong. RBI will take it out of the list and RBI will say, no, you are not weak, so why should I put you there? So recently only startups have been put, recently only the street vendors have been put, renewable energy has been put recently, which means this list keeps on changing. Now please write example. Okay. Renewable energy, renewable energy, renewable energy, startups, farmers, renewable energy, startups, farmers, weaker section of the society, comma, exporters. Please write exporters. We'll do that in banking. Exporters. Matlab, if you are trying to export something out of India, a bank might not give you loan by saying, beta, if you export, what is the guarantee that you will get dollars from outside? What if you export and you don't get payment? So if you are in the business of export import, suppose you are an exporter and you need some money because you have to package your material, you have to transport your material. Only when the material reaches a foreign country, then they will make the payment to you. But suppose that they don't make the payment, then why should a bank give you loan for packaging of your exported material? So that's why RBI has said that no, India wants to promote export. So export has also been put under the, currently export is also under the list of priority sector. So please write export, comma, MSMEs, exporters, comma, MSMEs are also there. MSMEs. Please put a full stop. Write a note, NOT note, separate note. NOT note. One of your friends is asking that can big companies like Adani's Tata, they can also be a part of PSL? Yeah, if they open a small company. So I am Mr. Tata. What I do, I register a very small company by having less amount of machines, by having a very small turnover, and immediately I'll tell the government of India, that's a separate company, so please help. Yeah, that's a system loophole. That's the loophole that is there in the system, but it's okay. First, let's write. So write a note. RE means renewable energy. Renewable energy is solar energy. That's a standard symbol. Huh? You'll see this a lot in environment and government documents. RE means renewable energy. So please write. Street vendors are treated. Write a note, please. Street vendors are treated. Street vendors are treated like. Street vendors are treated like MSMEs under PSL, under priority sector lending, under priority sector lending. In other words, just like MSMEs, street vendors are also eligible. Just like MSMEs, street vendors are also eligible for PSL loan, priority sector lending loan. PSL loan. Please put a full stop. Read this question, please, and please answer this question. UPSC question. This is how UPSC questions has been asked in prelims. Which year? 2023. Answer this, please. Please try to answer. Your first lecture. Okay. So have you got your notebook? Consider the following statements with reference to India. According to Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Act 2006, the medium enterprise are those with investment in plant and machinery between 15 crore and 25 crore. To my online students, answer. First point. First is right. But one of your friend online is saying first is correct. According to my parents, my name is this. But suppose you tell me that according to your parents, your name is Ant. ये बोलना नहीं कभी, don't say this. But suppose what you have done is, my parents have kept my official name as this. This is my official name. But what you are saying is that, but sir, this small name is also a subset of bigger name. So you remove this and you start to call me Ant. Is that my official name? What did I tell you? According to my parents, my official name should not be Ant. Complete name has to be the name. You can't pick out something from there. You can't pick a letter and say that's your official name because it's a subset. According to rules, my name is this. Officially, my name is this. According to parents, my name is this. Similarly, according to this act, what is the range for medium enterprises? 10 to 50 crores. So the range is 10 to 50 crores. What is mentioned? 15 to 25. It's a part of this subset. But subset is not the official definition because the question has mentioned this. But suppose the question would have asked that there is an industry where the current investment is 15 to 25 crore, between 15 to 25. Is it potentially an MSME and category medium? Answer is yes. Because if current investment is between this, of course you are medium. But when the question is according to the act, is this medium? No. Because according to the act, this is not the range. According to the act, this is the range. So according to the act, you have to take the official range. But if you take anything in between, then is it potentially a part? Yes, maybe. Because we don't know the other side. So we don't know the other part. Other part is the turnover because we don't know that. So potentially it might be there. But here the question says according to the act, so you can't take this, you have to take this because this is official. Just like when I taught you Make in India, I told you something that there are 4 pillars of Make in India. Fatafat, please tell me the name of the 4 pillars of Make in India. Number 1, new process. New process. What is new process? Ease of doing business. And under ease of doing business, one scheme is there. What is the scheme? Single window clearance scheme. Why did you say new process? Why didn't you say new methods? You didn't say new method. Why? That's the government's name. DPIIT and Government of India has given that name. We can't change it. Similarly, the second pillar of Make in India. What's the second pillar of Make in India? New infrastructure. Under which principle? Which infrastructure? No. NIP and Gati Shakti. National Infrastructure Pipeline and Gati Shakti. And what is the third pillar? New sectors. How many sectors? 27 sectors. How many manufacturing? How many services? Nodal agency for services? I knew that you will say DPIIT. Right, that's why I flipped the question. Okay, can you please tell me the nodal ministry for manufacturing? DPIIT is a ministry. Ministry of Commerce. Again, I knew that you will say DPIIT, so I changed the question. Right? Be careful, guys. Mind twisters. Right? Welcome to the class. It will be okay in a few days. You just have to look at some videos, right? So today there is a new friend of yours in the class. So what's your name? Atul. So Atul is there. He has just joined us. He will also understand in some time the method of learning. It's slightly different, slightly odd, but you'll get used to it. All right, fine. So Ministry of Commerce and Industry. What's the last point? What's the last pillar of Make in India? New mindset. But why didn't you say new governance? It's the same thing. But you didn't use the word governance. Why? Because DPIIT or Government of India, Ministry of Commerce and Industry have fixed the name. We can't change it. Same thing. Right? So which means that this is not correct. Regulator to facilitator, obviously. This point. It says all the bank loans to MSMEs qualify. What is the meaning of qualify? Eligible, eligible. This is literature word. Qualify. Are you eligible for priority sector? Yes, you are eligible. So it says, are you eligible for priority sector? Yes, because RBI has put your name. But is it guaranteed that you will get some loan under PSL? No. What if the bank has already exhausted its 40% in other areas like renewable energy, export, etc., etc. And when you reach the bank says, sorry, I have given entire 40% to others. Because there are others also in the list, I have given the entire 40% to others, you are a little late to the party, what can I do? Because RBI has not said that MSME should definitely get it. RBI says MSME is also one of the members of the list. So potential candidate, but there is no compulsion. Which means there are some people, some sectors mentioned in the PSL, you have to give 40% to them. If MSME reaches there little late, your money gone. That is also a problem. But question does not say that will it definitely get it. It says qualify. Yeah, qualify. So what is your answer? 1 or 2? 2 only. Any confusion there? No? Confusion? Tell me. It has been amended. This question was asked in... No. It is correct. It is correct. So that can be there. But what has happened is, here, since if you look at this act, The current form of the act is also called as this only with the new limits. And in fact, if you look at the old limit also, this was never the limit. So even in the original act also, this was not the limit. So according to both the definitions, this goes wrong. What a good thought process, by the way. This is critical thinking, very good. But according to both the definitions, old definition also, this limit was not there. According to new definition, amended also, this limit is not there. According to both definitions, wrong. And the current definition that we are following is this definition only with new limits. New limits have been invoked. So this limit was never there. And frankly, how do you find out if this limit is there or not? I have never seen in any of the definitions of government scheme or anything where this type of number is taken. I have never seen that. It's either 25, 50, 75, 100, 200. So this is also one of the very sort of layman kind of approach to identify this is wrong. I have never seen that.
What if we don't remember the original act?
You don't have to remember the original one. You have to remember the new one. New one only. You will answer according to the new one. Because frankly speaking, I don't think UPSC will ask you what happened like 20 years back. And if they, but if they do, leave that question. You can't destroy your career because of one question. Hai? There are 5 phone numbers. If one phone number blocks you, you can't destroy your emotions. Move ahead in life. So is the second option, there is all bank loans, but only 40% is available. Second option is, kya bol raha hai? All the bank loans to MSMEs qualify under, yeah, all bank loan in the sense that you are a member of that. So that's why, in that sense, it is correct. Because they say that the moment you are MSME, you are in that list. And it says that all the bank loans, which means that if I am a bank, I am trying to give money to MSME. So the first thing is, whatever loan I am giving, by default it qualifies under PSL. Then I will check that have I exhausted my PSL limit. If I have already exhausted my PSL limit with somebody else, then that doesn't apply to that bank. But by default, I am covered under that. Also in the first case, they did not mention third. Of course, we cannot say for sure. I am obviously correct. Understood? Wonderful. Good. Likhe. So have you written the dictation on PSL? Or note have you written that, what is the note you wrote? Included? Bataiye.
Treated like MSME,
Mm-hmm.
PSL. In other words, just like MSMEs, street vendors are also eligible for PSL loan.
Okay, I want to ask you a question before we move ahead, because we have to prepare for both prelims and mains. So can you please tell me that whatever schemes are applicable to MSMEs, are all the schemes applicable to street vendors?
No, only PSL.
Only
PSL.
PSL. Any doubt? Any doubt? All okay? All okay? Awesome. So, you explain, I'll rectify. You tell me what you understood. I have already dictated it. You read it, you explain it to me. It's just translation. I'll help you out. Because capacity building has to happen in the class. You please read, explain, I will help. Bataiye. Don't feel stressed. It's okay. We are learning. Batao. Nobody is judging you. And if you give the right answer, your friends will give you chocolate. Virtual chocolate. Rajan, ready with the chocolate? Read it, fatafat. Read it, please, and tell me. Don't take any stress. Easy. Take it easy. You will learn well if you answer. What is mentioned? It's okay. It's okay. Batao. Absolutely.
Like MSME.
So this is your good. Absolutely correct. Street vendors are treated or eligible like MSME under PSL, but for other schemes like MSME Champion, etc., you do not force other schemes of MSME on street vendors. Only for this part they are eligible. Very good explanation, see? And you were saying you have not understood. You have understood very well, right? Chalo, now please write. Just a second now. Sir, all the bank loan means that whatever is the loan. No, all the bank loan means that whatever bank loans are going towards MSME. Since the word MSME is mentioned in this, so whatever loan comes from here, the first thing that you have to understand is the moment money comes out from here, it automatically has to go through this route because it is MSME and MSME is mentioned here. So by default, all the loans for MSMEs qualify as this. But suppose this bank has already exhausted its entire 40% somewhere else, then the money that will come to MSME will be through this method, yeah, 60% wala method. But first, by default, whenever the money leaves the bank, the money has to take this method, this route for MSMEs. This is the rule told by RBI, that the moment this money is coming out of the bank, and suppose I am MSME, I am standing in front of the bank. So all the money that is coming out of the bank, all the money here, see what is happening? Money, money, money. Money goes here. Money has to go here because I am a part of this category. So money goes here, 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 comes to me, I take it. But suppose this bank has already exhausted its 40%. So now when I stand and say, bank, give me loan, bank says, sorry, I can't follow this route. Money exhausted. Now this route. So by default, when the money leaves this, it by default takes this route. If this route is already saturated, that's it. So now please write, discuss, write a question guys, discuss. Achha, most welcome. Bacho, don't you feel that there is so much content in this topic in definition itself to ask questions? If I were UPSC, I would ask one question out of this definition every year because I know that my IAS officers have to handle this department in future. So revise this very well. Discuss the significance of MSMEs. Discuss the significance of MSMEs for India. Discuss the significance of MSMEs for India. Note this down, please. Entire template is very easy. Now, abhi you write in the notebook. Before the class ends, a few things I will ask you to note down in data book also. Write this template, please. Exactly like this. To my online students, please write it exactly in this manner. Little more up, please. Hold on. No, I don't think. Something else must be there. Which one is the statement? Oh, already answered. Okay, MCQ. MCQ already done. I was looking at it. I thought there's a problem, but we have already discussed that. All right. So please write this template. Now, fatafat, let's fill it. Okay. So, can you please tell me what is the share of MSMEs in India's GDP in national income? Roughly 1/3. 1/3 is the share of MSMEs in India national income. It keeps on changing. So the real answer is 30 to 33%. So if the GDP of India is 100 rupees, the contribution of MSMEs is roughly 30 to 33%. That's what I have seen normally. Sometimes 33.5 also. That's the range. What is the contribution of MSMEs? I'll tell you a jugaad of memorizing this. What is the contribution of MSMEs in India's export? More than 40%. Currently it was 45, but more than 40 is correct. Because sometimes, abhi for the time being. But I will teach you when I teach you the topic called as GDP that these two are different things, but not today. So, but for today, what we'll consider is national income GDP same. So 100 rupees is the national income of India. So what is the contribution of MSMEs? Roughly 30 to 33%. And contribution in export is more than 40%. So sometimes it's, let's say 45%, sometimes 47%, sometimes 50% also. So to be on the safer side, more than 40%. Jaise, why have I written more than 40? Why not 49, which is the correct answer? Because whenever there is a global slowdown and geopolitical problem, then the contribution in the export comes down. So that's the problem. So we will write greater than 40 and it will be absolutely correct. Now, industrial production contribution more than 40%. Same thing. More than 40%. Fine. What is the contribution of MSMEs in employment? Roughly 12 crore. Roughly 12 crore. You can mention here. Only 2. 12 crore. What is the contribution of MSME in rural MSMEs? How many rural MSMEs are there? If there are 100 MSMEs in India, so roughly around 51% are rural. Is it okay? 51% are rural. Now, what is the product variety? Means what different type of products are created by MSMEs? So the real answer is 7,500. But we will write greater than 7,000 items. Various types of items are created. Just say you see this pen, no. This pen is also a product of MSME. So similar to this pen, there are more than 7,000 items which are created by them. So for UPSC purposes, you have to memorize these things. Right? This is a fact. But the way you write answer will be slightly different. So let's write some points about how to frame answers in UPSC. And this will be one of the questions that you will have to practice with me when I call you for that question answer session in this week. So because this is the question which I want you to write, and I will leave it to your creativity how you frame it, but I'll give you a sample today. Please write point number 1. देखो कैसे how to frame sentences. Please write point number 1. MSMEs overall contribute around 1/3 in India's GDP. In India's GDP. In the bracket, please write total 6.3 crore MSMEs. Total 6.3 crore MSMEs are operational. They are currently operating. So what did we do? Did you notice what we have done? So we have written that MSMEs contribute a lot in GDP. Then we are writing their numbers that roughly 6.3 crore MSMEs are contributing in India's GDP. If we would have converted this into a literature, then the literature sentence would have become longer. So for example, there are almost around 6.3 crore MSMEs in India, which contributes 1/3 to India's GDP. Huge statement. Unnecessary wastage of space and time. So what did we do? We wrote the most important thing in the form of literature, and then we put a bracket and we said total number of MSMEs is 6.3. We're done. That's it. We saved one line. Number 2, please write. Second, MSMEs contribute. See, this is a smart answer now. MSMEs contribute more than 40%. More than 40% in both export and industrial production. We'll stop, please. So you are my smart kids. What have we done? We have merged 2 points, these two, and we have converted them into one line. Again, 2 lines saved in the exam. Time saved, lines saved. Yes, this is also one of the tricks for UPSC. We will use this trick a lot. Please try to learn all these things, okay? And what is the next point? It says employment is this. But then, if you remember, what did I tell you? We started our lecture in a slightly different way. We started our lecture by saying that there is too much of disguised unemployment. There is rural unemployment. There is rural poverty. Our farmers have very small piece of land. And then we said MSMEs can provide a good opportunity to solve the problem of rural poverty, rural income, and rural unemployment. So only this point is not going to give you marks in the exam. This is one of the points. So when you write the employment point, you will have to write, we don't write, let me first explain what we are going to write. This will be a bigger point. So what are we going to write? That MSMEs provide employment to 12 crore people. They can provide a solution to disguised unemployment, improve rural income, and reduce rural poverty. This point has to be written. Otherwise, we don't get marks. What have we done? We have added more dimensions to our answer. So you would have spoken to many of your seniors who would have told you, at least I have spoken to many of the students who wrote mains this year and last year. One of the biggest problems that I used to see was that people used to write answer like this, and this does not fetch us good marks in the exam. Why? Because dimensions are missing. You have not been able to connect employment with the real problem of India. You are simply writing 12 crore like a robot. You don't get marks for that. So if you speak to a lot of seniors, they will tell you, hey, I have written mains 2-3 times, but I don't know where I am missing out. Actually, the place where they are missing out is the coverage of dimensions. UPSC wants that in 1 point or 2 points, you should cover 4-5 dimensions. You have to be smart in writing all these things. And for prelims, UPSC wants that you should go into finer details of what is the net, turnover, gross turnover, how is the treatment of export done. Even if you don't know the reason for it, no problem. UPSC simply says, beta, do you know exports are not included? If you know it, you qualify the exam. Because if you look at prelims question, you will never find too much of a deep question which is very analytical and gives headache. It doesn't do that. They simply ask you things that are you aware of these changes in the policy or not. If you can do, you will qualify the exam. So here, it will be a big point. Please write that MSMEs provide, yes, next point, third point. MSMEs provide employment. MSMEs provide employment to around 12 crore. You put a sign tilde, huh? Around 12 crore workers. 12 crore workers. Next point. Next point is the most beautiful point. Please write MSMEs can solve the challenge of disguised unemployment, reduce rural poverty, and provide boost to rural income. Done. Next point. And by the way, in your exam, should you write like this? Aisa kuch. So for example, let's say 5 crores. Can you write like this? Yeah, it is acceptable. If you write rupees and then write 5 crore, it is acceptable. But if you simply write 5 crore, what is this 5 crore? Rupee, population, mangoes, oranges, no idea. But if you write rupee 5 crore, acceptable symbol. Now, next point, please write that more than half of MSMEs are based out of rural areas. They create balanced regional development. Is it fine? Awesome. How many points have we written? 5 points, half a page roughly. Because this question will never be asked as a standalone question. There will be 2 more parts attached to it. So these are some of the important points that you will have to write. Okay? By the way, can I tell you one figure? Just for the sake of knowledge, so that you understand in which direction the country is going. Almost 3 years back, when I was teaching this topic, the number of rural MSMEs in India was not 51%, it was 23%, just 3 years back. In last 3 years, what has happened? That number of MSMEs has become 51% in rural India, which means something must have been done by the state governments as well to promote MSMEs, which is true. So some of the states of India, for example, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, UP for that matter, Bihar, some of the states of India, as I named them, they have taken amazing kind of steps to promote the MSMEs and tell them, hey, come to my rural area, I will give you land. I will give you whatever basic things you require like water and electricity, which means credit must be given to the state governments also. Because center cannot force a state to have MSMEs. Unless the state wants, you can't force them. Because clear-cut distinction is there in the union list, state list and concurrent list. So land is under the state list, you cannot force. Which means if this is happening in India, due credit should be given to some of the states which have pulled up these numbers. So guys, this is just at the back of the mind, you should have it for your interview purposes that yes, some states are taking some action. So this point we will not write as a main point. This is for the sake of knowledge. If you are falling short of points, then you should write this. That they also create variety just like that. But if you feel that you have solid content for this, then no, don't need to write this because we have to save space also. Next question, please write. Discuss the challenges faced by MSMEs in India. Discuss the challenges faced by MSMEs in India. Challenges faced by MSMEs in India. Right? Okay. So now for that I have a picture. Okay, I'll answer these questions after telling you this theory. You remind me please, I'll answer. But pehle I have to tell you this part. So guys, this picture, a standard picture which I use for this purpose, very simple. So for example, who is there? Okay, fine. So you have king of good times. So this person has large industries, huge amount of cash. The person is based out of London. That's your micro industry, small industry and medium industry. I'm going to tell you a story for 5 minutes. In 5 minutes, you'll understand this entire thing. Then we will convert it into a dictation. That what are actually the bigger challenges faced by MSMEs. And I'm very happy to tell you one thing, that there were quite a few points here which I used to discuss last year and tell my student that I don't think this problem can be solved so easily. Fortunately, the government of India has taken some steps in last 7 months and those points have changed. So today I'll tell you those points. Big changes have happened in this way. Very big changes have happened. So first I'll discuss the problems and anything which is positive makes us happy. And then I will tell you some positive solutions which have happened. Then I'll tell you one negative thing which has not been taken care by the government of India. So if I were in opposition, I would definitely ask that negative thing in the parliament and I'll say, what have you done for this? And I know there won't be any answer. But I don't know why these kind of serious questions are never discussed. Not in the newspaper, but in the parliament, I think these should be discussed. Chalo, let's see. Now, have a look at this bank. Now guys, what happens is, I'm talking about last 50 years, last 55 to 60 years, this used to be the system. So whenever we discuss something, don't say this government, that government. Whenever you discuss things, discuss it from country's perspective. That in last 60, 65 years, what has been the biggest challenge? Then we will see, okay, has it been solved today? So the biggest challenge was when this person used to go to the bank, listen to it very carefully, when this big person used to go to the bank, which is a true story, he went to SBI and he said, SBI, I need 14,000 crore rupees as loan. He demanded this from SBI. SBI said, yes, sir, we can give you that. The rate of interest for you, because you are a rich guy, the rate of interest for you would be 7%. He said 7% is too high. So SBI said, no, sir, our normal rate of interest is 14%, double. But we are giving you very subsidized rate of interest, 7%. So he says, why are you doing this for me? Charity? So SBI said, no, sir, it's not charity. Because 7% of 14,000 crore for next 20 years, it's in thousands of crores. That's why we are doing this for you. Because we are going to get huge amount of volume, 7% of 14,000 crores. So he says, okay, since you are accepting that 7% of 14,000 crore is too much, so what if I don't take money from you and I go to Kotak Mahindra Bank? So SBI says, don't do that. It's a business for us. Don't kill the business. He says, okay, then give me discounts. He was member of parliament as well. SBI said, you are member of parliament, you are king of good times. When he used to go out of his house in Bangalore, I'm telling you this, I have seen it. I used to go to Bangalore a lot for vacation as a child only. You know, my family used to take me to Bangalore for everything, like, you know, summer vacation Bangalore, winter vacation Bangalore, no vacation Bangalore, unbelievable. So they used to take me to Bangalore all the time. I used to roam around and see all the places. So when this guy used to come out of his house, there used to be 25 cars ahead of him, 25 cars behind him, 10 cars this side, 10 cars that side. There was no space for people like us to walk there, right? So he was that kind of celebrity there. So he says to SBI that if you don't reduce the interest rate for me, I'll go somewhere else. I'll go to Kotak Mahindra. SBI said, okay, sir, for you, rate of interest, 5%. He said, no, that's good. That's fine. Oh, bhul jao abhi. So enjoy the story. When the banking comes, we'll talk about that. So 5%. So now this bank, he says, bank 5% rate of interest, I'm ready to do that. But let's do the formalities in 1 hour only because I need the money urgently. Bank said, sir, collateral, property papers, please. So he said, well, since I didn't know that you will agree or not agree, so I'm carrying just 2-3 collateral and property papers. I have 2 houses in Delhi, which is a true story. He said, I have 2 homes in Delhi, so I can give you some property paper and the value of each house in Delhi is 500 crore rupees. So he said, I have 2 houses in Delhi. It's in embassy area, by the way, Chanakyapuri. So 2 houses, 500 crore, 1,000 crore. So he said, I have 1,000 crore worth of property papers, which I'm carrying. Remaining properties I'll give you in a week or 2-3 days. The bank agreed. Bank says, okay, sir, you are member of parliament. Where will you go? Parliament only. Right? But they had no idea what is his plan. So they gave him the money. He takes 14,000 crore and next day he says, bye. And he writes on Twitter, see you soon. Oh, sorry, never see you. Right? He leaves India. SBI did not even respond because they were having lunchtime. They thought it's a joke. They didn't take it seriously. Right? So they were busy enjoying the lunch. He fled this country. He never came back. 14,000 crore gone. Now SBI goes to courts, and SBI says that, court, can you help us to recover this money from this guy? Court says that, did you take any collateral? SBI says, yeah, 1,000 rupees collateral. 1,000 crores. Court says, what have you done? First, let me press charges against that manager who has done this. Because how can you be so happy looking at a customer that you forgot the rules? Don't break down the rules and don't get away from the rules just because somebody big is in front of you. Tomorrow you will be an IS officer. Some big shot will come in front of you and tell you that, sir or ma'am, please give this clearance. I want to create an industry here. We will do the check of environmental impact assessment, etc. later on. Because I'm a big shot, I'm such a big personality, Sida, you will give me the permission, being the district collector. And what if I'm creating a very hazardous and toxic industry in your area? And I'm already releasing, mercury, etc. as one of the pollutants, and the soil is getting impacted in one day itself, and you will not have time to recover. One should never be in awe of somebody so much that you bend the rules for that person. Never be in awe of anybody like this. Always be in control. Even if somebody big and powerful is there in front of you, treat them like a normal person and say, yeah, you are good, I have heard about you. That's it, full stop. And don't show any expression. Be Abhishek Bachchan. Don't show expressions. That's it. Right? So, that was slip of tongue. So now guys, come back here. Ab dekho majedar the concept. This guy pays 5% rate of interest, money gone. SBI says, I have been royally looted. Now this person, micro industry, who converts tomatoes into tomato ketchup or mangoes into pickle, comes to the bank and says, bank, can I get 1 lakh rupees? Because I have to buy good quality, listen to it carefully. I have to buy good quality mangoes, plus I have to pay electricity bill. I also have to buy 1 refrigerator and 1 mixer and 1 cutter. Basic things, 1 lakh rupees. Can I get it from you? Bank says, first of all, sir, who are you? He says, I am micro enterprise. I convert mangoes into pickle, tomatoes into tomato ketchup. Bank says, sir, do you have property papers? He says, no. Bank says, are you registered? Last 65 years. He said, no. Bank said, sir, does Government of India know that you exist? He says, no. So then the bank says, do you have any chartered accountant? He says, no. Bank says, why? So he says, boss, chartered accountant will take 2 lakh rupees for yearly audits. I don't have 2 lakh rupees. Chartered accountant will ask me to have computers, laptops for running those softwares. I don't have it. Government of India's registration charges for MSME was 25,000 rupees in India. He said, why should I pay 25,000 rupees? Currently it is free. He said, why should I pay 25,000 rupees? Bank said, oh, you are neither registered, nor do you have any big property papers, and nor the Government of India knows that you exist, which means you are not organized. You belong to unorganized sector. You are not registered. And there was nothing called Udyam portal. Udyam portal came during, Atmanirbhar Bharat package 2020. Before that, there was nothing called Udyam. So, he says, I have no documents, no papers, sorry. Bank says, okay, then I will not give you loan because you are very risky. So he said, come on, where will I go? So the bank says, sir, since you don't have any papers, I'm not obliged to give you loan under PSL. Because you don't have papers to prove that you are a micro industry. He said, where will I go? Bank said, sir, you can take personal loan. So he said, okay, I will take personal loan. Bank says, for that also you need collateral, some guarantee. He said, I don't have a guarantee. Bank said, please leave. So he has been asked not to stay in the bank. Out. Over. Which means that now this guy does not have even that much money that he or she can purchase raw material for the industry. So what will happen eventually? Instead of buying good quality tomatoes, now he will buy rotten tomatoes. And he will convert rotten tomatoes into tomato ketchup and try to sell it in the village market because he can't compete in the urban market now. Rotten tomatoes, come on, quality. And why is he doing it? Because he's a bad guy? No, he's doing it because he doesn't have any other option. And if you ask him, why didn't you register? He says, who will give me 25,000 rupees to register? I don't have that money. Who will pay bribes? Who will buy 25,000 rupees? This ministry, that ministry, sorry. Because I'm a village industry. Sorry, I don't want to do all this. Out. Now this guy comes to the bank, small guy, and says, loan please. Bank says, property papers? He says, yeah, little bit of property paper is there, small piece of land and some cattle, cows and buffaloes. SBI says, what are you saying? You will put cows here in the bank locker. So he says, I mean, this is my property. Bank says, you also leave, please. Because we don't take cattle as a property. So some of these small ones rejected because they are having cattle as property. Other one comes who have a small house. Let's say I have a small house and I'm also converting tomatoes into tomato ketchup and milk into cheese. Thoda better business. So yeah, I'm a small guy. I have one house. So I will give that house paper to the bank and then bank will say, oh, you have given house paper, but sir, are you registered? Same problem, not registered. Why? Registration charges very costly, very complicated. Chartered accountant charges 2 lakh a year. I cannot pay. But what do I have? I have a house. That house has been taken by this bank, property papers deposited. Now bank says, sir, we can give you 1 lakh rupees loan and the rate of interest for you will be 12%. I say, wait. 12% rate of interest. Why? And that too, like 20, 30 years back, 12% rate of interest. This bank says, yes, sir, because Reserve Bank of India has set something called as repo rate, etc. So we can't give you less than 12%. Immediately he says, what about him? 5%. So the bank says, sir, because we have given him for 5%, hence we are giving you for 12% because you are the one who has to compensate the bank for this loss. Wow. So imagine what has just happened. This guy should have got the loan at 12%. He also deserves the loan, suppose market rate 12%. But what has happened? He has got discount. So now the bank is saying, you sir, we can give you discount because you are small, but we will not give you discount. Why? Because we have already given the discount to the bigger one. So now you compensate the country because he has cheated us. Amazing. Which means, doesn't it look like, guys, look at this very carefully. Doesn't it look like as if this guy is subsidizing him indirectly? So when you pay the price of somebody else's cheating by paying a higher rate of interest, this concept is called as cross subsidy. So it's not actually subsidy, but it looks as if this guy is paying 5% because this guy is compensating the country by paying 12%. So since he pays 12%, so bank charges 5 from him. So it looks as if this guy is subsidizing him. And banks were so blunt in this, they used to say, yeah, we are doing this, so what? What will you do? So this guy used to say, I will complain to RBI. I'll complain to RBI. The bank used to say, go complain. This is a rule created by RBI. Wow. That means RBI created a system in India which is called differential rate of interest, where if you are a bank, you are free to charge the rate of interest that you feel like based on the status of the borrower. What kind of behavior is this? This is discrimination, which means economic discrimination was blatantly followed. Why? Because RBI used to say that if we don't give subsidized loan to this guy, he will not open industries in India. We want industries also. Oh, what a logic. So by that logic, then you will increase the interest rate for these people. They will never become industrialists in India then. They will always remain poor. That's discrimination against DPSP. But nobody raises a voice. So ultimately, RBI realized that this is a bad behavior. Over the years, 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, finally the system is changing slowly and this behavior has stopped. When I teach you banking, I will tell you which formula currently is being used. It is called as external benchmark lending rate, EBLR. So currently the rate of interest that is charged from this big shot is EBLR, and currently the rate of interest charged from them is also EBLR. But now they are getting the benefit. So for them, what does the government of India do? Suppose EBLR, when I teach you banking, I'll teach you EBLR. Okay, for today, just imagine that EBLR is equal to 12%. So he has to pay 12%, no benefits. When it comes to this, the government of India tells RBI that RBI, you charge 12% from this guy, but out of this 12%, 7% will be given by government. This person will pay only 5%. That's good. Because now government is saying, I will pay 7% from my pocket. This guy will pay 5. Total 7 plus 5, 12. SBI will receive 12. So this guy is getting loan at 12 now. This guy is getting loan at effectively 5%. Because remaining 7 is paid by the government, called as interest subvention or interest subsidy, whatever you want to call it. So 7 plus 5, 12. This is the system. But when did that system come? This system came 2-3 years back. Uske pehle to since last 60 years the system was different. But we are not discussing 3 years. We are not here to become the mouthpiece of the government. We are here to discuss country. So when you discuss a country, you don't discuss 1 year. You discuss overall what has happened. And then you discuss, okay, currently this is happening. So overall what happened? They had a problem. They had a problem. They had a problem. Now I want to ask you a question. You are converting tomatoes into tomato ketchup. Banks are not giving you loan. They are taking your property papers. Now can you please tell me, what kind of raw material will you buy? Very high quality or medium and low quality? Medium and low quality. If you export those quality of items outside India, will your item qualify under the quality check? Which means if you look at the export destination of MSMEs of India, which means in which countries MSMEs of India are exporting their commodities, you will be amazed to see, and you will laugh at this, you will see that the countries are Africa, Brazil, which means in hardcore European countries and some of the American markets, etc., most of our MSMEs, those who are very small MSMEs or micro, they are not able to penetrate that market. Why? Because quality is compromised. And why is the quality compromised? Because they are by nature bad? No, because they don't have the resources and the infrastructure to do it. That's the reason that quality is compromised. I know of one instance where a very good quality product was created by MSMEs in India, but when it came to export, they could not package the product well, and European market just threw it away and said, what a rubbish packaging. I don't accept these kind of packets. And then our government of India tried to fight and say that no, the quality of the product is good. They say no, our standards are such that the wrapper also has to be of good quality and a certain color, red color wrapper. I said, what are you saying? You are obsessed countries, right? Let me call Italy and ask them, do you also need red wrapper? Italy said, no, I mean, for us, it's okay. Right? But other countries, they said, we have a problem. Are you understanding this problem? Emotions, right? So what did they do? They rejected our, tomato ketchup and all those things, textile products, MSME product by saying, your packaging is not good. Unbelievable. But yeah, it is not their fault. It is our fault because we failed to help these people. So what kind of machines and technology are these using since last 60 years? Latest technology or outdated technology? Outdated technology. Now, do you believe that they have sufficient supply of water, electricity, roads, packaging material, warehouses, cold storage, refrigerator? Nothing is available for them. And if they try to ask the government, please, government, give it to us, government says, you are 6.3 crore in number. Sorry, I can't help all of you. What kind of argument is this? You are 6.3 crore, I can't help you. This used to be our attitude towards them. Why? Because we were trying to help these people through subsidy. This has to change. Okay, that's point number one. But did I tell you that there is one point for which the government of India does not have any answer even today? I'll tell you that point. Now, guys, imagine that I am an investor in India. Let's say that I am one of the big shots of it. Let's say Mr. Narayan Murthy or Mr. Ratan Tata. Now, I have money in my pocket. I am ready to invest it in companies. I have two choices. Either I go and invest my money in some good startup, which is promoting some technology or some new kind of gadgets, which is very high funda business, etc., etc. Or I take my money and go to these kind of factories and tell them, you take my money and give me some shares. Shares means ownership. If I give you money, you make me your partner. We both will be, I'm Mr. Tata, I want to be your partner, tomato ketchup industry. You know what Mr. Tata is doing and what Mr. Narayan Murthy is doing? They are not coming to these people. They are saying that their future is very dark. Why? No innovation, no real government support, no quality for them, no marketing facility for them. Why should I go to them? Why should I even become their partner? So what are the big shots of India doing? Those people who invest in businesses, they mostly become partners of technology related companies, which means product related companies which do not have significant technology. Let's say I'm creating flying cars. Mr. Tata will come to me. But if I'm creating tomato ketchup, Mr. Tata says, nah, not interested. But don't you feel that if somebody as big as Mr. Tata, because Tata produces Tata food, imagine the technology he has. So if that person also becomes my partner here, just a small partner, and contributes through ideas, etc., there is a very high chance that these three can become global players. But Tatas are not interested. Tata says, why should I become their partner? Which means capital market is not interested in them. So if they go to capital market, stock exchange, which I'll teach you separately, when they go to market and tell anyone, hey, please give me money, I will give you a little bit of partnership, owners, shares. Capital market says, nah, you are too small. You might fail. This is discrimination which is currently happening. And what is the step taken by Government of India to improve this? Nothing. Nothing big. There is a problem. Fine. So this one problem has not been taken care. Acha, when do you think this problem can be solved? When government of India gives backing to these companies and says that, hey, you want new partners? I will become a bridge between Mr. Tata and you, and I will make you so strong by giving you technology that Mr. Tata doesn't hesitate to become your partner. So government of India has to provide water, electricity, warehouse, cold storage, some machines, basic technology, marketing facilities and recognition to them. And then government of India has to bring their name at national platform and say, hey, see, I am behind them. Immediately Tatas and Infosys will come and say, we also are with you. But for that, government has to do the hand-holding part. This, I feel, is one of the criticisms which still holds. Abhi theek hai? Which means what type of capital is missing in these industries? Bank loans. Bank loans are coming now. What is missing? The capital market participation in MSMEs. That is missing. Capital market is not very active in MSMEs. They feel, nah, MSMEs are not good. Please write. Number one. Number one. The MSMEs don't get timely and sufficient credit. The MSMEs don't get timely and sufficient credit. Credit means loan. The MSMEs don't get timely and sufficient credit. Number two, they face challenges. They face challenges related to collateral. Collateral means guarantee. They face challenges related to collateral. Third, they lack even basic infrastructure. They lack even basic infrastructure like water, power, warehouse, cold storage, water, power, warehouse, cold storage, and so on. Next point. They mostly use outdated technology. Hence, their product quality is normal and sometimes inferior. Next point. Because of small size and low level of technology, their cost of production is on the higher side. Hence, they find it difficult on the higher side. Hence, they find it difficult to compete on global platforms. Next point. They are unable to afford costly marketing and advertising. costly marketing and advertising. And the last point, they are unable to attract equity investors. Equity investors for today's lecture, equity investors means partners. So when somebody becomes equity investor in your company, they become your partner and you give them shares. They are your shareholders. So I will explain this point more precisely and exhaustively when I teach you capital market. But today we will write, they fail to attract equity investors means they fail to attract those people who want to become their partners or shareholders. This is the last point, and this last point has not been solved by the Government of India. Please write a question. Explain the government's effort. Explain the government's effort to improve the strength of MSMEs. Explain the government efforts to improve the strength of MSMEs. Strength of MSMEs in India. In India. In India. So guys, what is the first point that I told you? One point that I told you which is a problem for India is equity investors. Who are equity investors? Those people who become partners in MSME, they are called as equity investors. Nobody wants to become their partner because people say you have no future, you are very small, one day you will not be there. Unbelievable attitude. This is a problem. But has the government taken any step to improve these things? Hannah, there is a first step which the government has taken. I already told you that step. Can you please tell me which step has the government already taken? Udyam portal. I already told you that Udyam portal is a step taken by Government of India where government says, I will give you recognition. I'll give you a certificate so that you become authentic. So there are 6.3 crore MSMEs in India. How many have Udyam portal currently? Around 4.4 crores, 4.4, 4.3 something. 4.4 it has already happened. So please write number one. Please write number one. And bacho, when we meet in the answer writing session, there I will tell you how to frame the introduction and conclusion for MSMEs. But there first I will take a test because I have already explained you introduction and conclusion principles. So I want to see how you apply it. And once I see your efforts, then I will give you my answers and some sample introduction and conclusion. That's why you have to come prepared with the revision. Please write. Point number one. The MSMEs can register. The MSMEs can register through Udyam portal. Through Udyam portal. In the bracket, please write around 70 to 75% MSMEs. Around 70 to 75% MSMEs already registered. Already registered. This is a good number, no? 70%? Yeah, already registered. That's number one. Number two, please write. So, bacho, there is a new change in the budget. In the budget, this has come. So, you please first note this. PM Mudra Yojana. Second point. First you note Mudra Yojana. Second point, PM Mudra Yojana, and then you write these three, and you write these numbers, and then you put a star here. Likhe, please write. PM Mudra Yojana. Keep writing, guys. Mudra Yojana. PM Mudra. There is no concept here. It's schemes only. So PM Mudra Yojana. Just divide Mudra Yojana into three parts. Write all the parts, please, and then put a star. Yeah, but that is mostly provided under another scheme which is clubbed with this. So for example, let's say that you want to create a solar power plant. So first of all, banks will provide you loan under PSL. Now Government of India tells the bank that whatever loan or rate of interest you want to charge, you please charge. So bank will charge you 10% rate of interest. But in your account, the Government of India will transfer the 4% rate of interest. This is what they will do. So effective rate of interest for you will be low, but the banks will put on the paper that I'm charging 12% or 10%. But what you pay becomes the effective, which is subsidized parallelly.
Whatever the loans will be taken by MSMEs, all loans will come under PSL.
Eligible, yes. under PSL only. So until it has been exhausted. But yes, eligible. Equity investors I already explained. What is this? This is Sishu, this is Kishore, and this is Tarun. These three, right? Now, up to 50,000, then 50,000 to 5 lakhs, and then you have 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs, and 10 lakhs we have put a star. Now, what you should do is, here you should write a bracket and write rupees 20 lakhs, and then you should write budget 2024. 20 lakhs, budget 2024. 20 lakhs, budget 2024. Let me explain this. So guys, the moment you become MSME, immediately you can carry the Udyam certificate and you can go to a bank and you can say that bank, street vendors can also do this now. So what they can do is they can go to a bank carrying the Udyam certificate and they can tell the bank that bank, please provide me loan under PSL. Only to that extent street vendors will do it. But the moment that PSL part is over, now comes the only MSME part where street vendors are not included. So if I'm MSME, I'm not a street vendor. Street vendor part is over, PSL. I'm MSME, I'm manufacturing tomato ketchup. I will carry Udyam portal, go to a bank and say, hey bank, I need 60,000 rupees loan from you. Now bank cannot ask any collateral from me. Bank will say, collateral please. I'll say, no, I want this loan under this scheme called as Mudra Yojana. The Mudra Yojana scheme started in 2015. So Government of India said that if you are MSME, and if you need loan, let's say up to 50,000 rupees or less than 50,000 rupees, that loan is called Sishu. But if you want more than 50,000 up to 5 lakh, like I said, 60,000. So 60,000 will be called as Kishore loan. And I will get a loan from the bank, and in the contract it will be written that this person, this MSME is taking Kishore loan from the bank. Rate of interest will be decided based on Government of India and the bank. This rate of interest varies. Sometimes it will be 7%, sometimes 8%, depending on repo rate and depending on market conditions. It's not fixed, it depends. So for example, currently it's somewhere around 7%, which is also subsidized rate of interest. So here I'll have to pay a rate of interest, but the good thing is I don't have to pay any guarantee or collateral. Nobody can even ask me about collateral in this case. So I can take 60,000 rupees loan. It will be called as Kishore. It will be written in the agreement, and it will also be written that I have to return the money in next 5 years in the form of EMI. I will tell you more about it, but hold on please. So like I'll tell you that what happens if you run away with the loan. This thing I'll tell you later on, like after 5-6 minutes. I don't want to start the point by saying that what if you run away. It's such a negative thing to talk about. So Kishore loan, you can take 60,000 rupees, 70,000 up to 5 lakhs. Initially, Tarun was 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. But Government of India realized something. Government of India realized that the price of every machine and everything has increased. And the size of MSMEs is growing. So Government of India says the maximum limit of the loan should be increased to 20 lakhs because inflation has happened. The same refrigerator whose price was earlier 10 lakh rupees, big refrigerator, now its price is 15 lakh rupees. So Government of India says since everything has become costly, so we also have to increase this limit. So the limit has been made 20 lakhs, which means up to 20 lakhs loan can be taken without any collateral. Let me give you a good news. So MSMEs are of various types. But I'm talking about two types of MSMEs. MSMEs owned by men, MSMEs owned by women. Two types of ownership. So Government of India was checking under the records which MSME is taking maximum loan under Mudra Yojana. Guess which MSME is taking? The MSME is owned by women. MSME is owned by women. So currently the figure of the Government of India, the figure has already changed. Yesterday I was checking, but a safe figure that you can write is that more than 60% loans, I'll dictate this, more than 60% loans under Mudra Yojana has been taken by MSMEs which are women-led. When you give loan to women-led companies or MSMEs, they definitely return the money. I mean, I'm not discriminating, okay? I'm not saying anything against anybody, no gender discrimination, but I'm just telling you what the Government of India said. So Government of India and RBI have presented a figure in the Parliament where the Finance Minister presented this figure last year. That this is our finding, that 99% of the Mudra loans are coming back. Everybody was shocked in the Parliament. How is this possible? Has nobody run out of this country? Then the Finance Minister said, no, they have not, because more than 50% is women-led enterprises who have taken loan, and they don't run away with the money that way, right? So they don't become king of good times, sorry, queen of good times. Right? There is not even a single example. I'm not talking about the SEBI chief, okay? So come back, please. I'm not even talking about Chanda Kochar. I'm not talking about these people. I'm talking about normal people. Don't misquote me anywhere. ये सब एग्जाम में नहीं लिखना है except Chanda Kochar से भी जी. So guys, more than 60% of the loan under Mudra Yojana has been taken by women-led enterprises, and the track record of the loan coming back is almost 99%. Then I know that what you're going to ask me. You'll say, what about that 1%? Who cares? Even if some people run away with the money, but they are not running away. Government has found, RBI has found that 1% people who are not able to return the money, mostly they are suffering from some market-related issues like their product is not doing that well, etc., which means they need extra help. Instead of kicking them out by saying, hey, you don't deserve help, government says they need extra help. So what has the government of India done? Something beautiful has been done in this budget. Let me tell you what it has been done. And this was not true last year. So last year I didn't tease this point. So what happened is, this year in the budget it was announced that 99% of Mudra loan is coming back. Malawi, if 100 MSMEs are taking loan, 99 are returning. That one company which is not returning the loan, 1%, government is saying, I will go to you and ask you, why are you not returning? Because I have your address, Udyam portal. Through GPS, I will track you. I know your coordinates. So I will go and come and ask you, why are you not able to return the loan? Then I will examine your business. And if I feel that the problem is not intention, your intention is okay, your business is a problem, then Government of India says that in this budget, that Government of India is going to design a new scheme to help those MSMEs which are not able to return this money. Government says, I will give you extra help. Remember, change in mindset from regulator to facilitator. So Government of India is saying, I will design a new scheme for you this time, so that if you are unable to fulfill these obligations because your business is not doing well, then I will help you to create a better business. But I will make sure that you stand on your feet and you return the money. We don't know the blueprint of that scheme, but government is saying that anybody who is under stress, MSMEs under stress, we are going to re-help them and we are going to bring them back on track. That's a welcome step. But I'm waiting for the blueprint, right? Because in budget they make announcements, but after they make announcement, they give the blueprint in 3 to 4 months. So we are still waiting for that, but it's a welcome step. But there is one problem here. The problem is somebody can take the advantage of this. I can open one MSME, I can take the loan under Mudra Yojana, and then I know my business is not going to do well because I have deliberately created the business like that. I will take 20 lakhs, I will not return the money. Government of India will come to me and tell me, hey, what happened? Are you okay? I'll say, yeah, I'm okay. It's just that my product is not good. Why my product is not good? Because I never paid attention to my product. I wanted it to fail. Now Government of India will come to me and tell me, your product is not good, better take more money. I'll say, I was waiting for you, come. 5 lakhs more. And then after I get the 5 lakh, 25 lakh taken, run away with the money. King of good times. But this is a speculation. Because I told you that we don't know the fine print. So how can we speculate? Let's wait. Let's see what the new scheme is. But the thought is good. But we will see what the implementation is. Okay? So this is how you integrate your current affairs with your static areas, that there is a problem, what is the solution? And when we talk about solution, we need the blueprint. Dekhenge, we'll see. Please write that under Mudra Yojana. So is there a collateral under Mudra Yojana? No, it's collateral free. So please write under Mudra Yojana, the government provides collateral free financial assistance, up to 20 lakhs, very nice, up to rupees 20 lakhs to the MSMEs. Collateral free financial assistance up to rupees 20 lakhs for the MSMEs. Subject to Udyam registration. Subject to Udyam registration. Malav, you have to do Udyam registration. Now, please put a full stop. Let me tell you something magical. I'll come to you. So, bachcho, see how UPSC will frame questions and how UPSC will try to confuse you. And that is why the kind of discussions that we are having in the class is important. Because UPSC will not ask many times direct question. They will ask you indirect things which are not very correct, but roundabout manner they are okay. I'll give an example. Now, I want to ask you a question. That if you are the Government of India, you could have directly given the money in my account and you could have said, beta, you are MSME, 6.3 crore MSMEs. How many MSMEs are there? 6.3 crore. So you could come to me and tell me without discrimination, I am also your child. So you can come to me, I am 6.3 crore MSMEs. You can simply give money in my pocket under Mudra Yojana and you can say that please go and make your business better. and become stronger. But what are you doing? You are the government of India. You are saying, I will give you money, but only when first you register yourself, which means this money is not for the 6.3 crore. It is only for 4.4 crore MSMEs. And what did I tell you? I don't know if I told you this or not, but exactly like 3-4 years back, the number of registered MSMEs in India was 10%. Hardly 10% was the registered MSMEs 3 years back. But now the number of registered MSMEs has become 70-75%. Why? Because government has made it mandatory that if you want any support from the government of India, show your Udyam certificate. So what has government of India done? The government of India says, if you want this Mudra loan, whatever the loan is there, collateral free, beta, first you register yourself. So even if I don't want to register, now I will have to register. And the moment I register, it looks very simple. The moment I register, now the government of India will come to my building, come to my office and say, are you following the labor laws? I'll say, what is labor law? So UPSC says, UPSC question, labor laws? We'll study labor laws, don't worry. So government of India says, are you following labor laws? I'll say, I'm MSME, I don't know what is labor law. So government of India says, beta, how much money are you paying to your workers? I will say 300 rupees per day. Government says, nah, minimum is 500 rupees. You have to give that. How many hours are you forcing your workers to work? I will say 12 hours. Government says wrong. You cannot make them work for more than 8 hours. After 8 hours, the shift has to change. And you cannot force the same worker to work for 8 hours. Then the government of India will ask me that, beta, what is your factory size? I will say this much. Government will say, how many people are working? I will say on this size factory, 20 people. Government says, not allowed. In India, there is a new rule. In India, the rule is that if you have a floor of some size, Government of India has prescribed a rule that every floor can accommodate how many workers. You cannot have more workers than that. And if you have it, Government of India does the inspection, your license will be cancelled. So are you understanding why MSMEs never wanted to be registered? Because the moment you are registered, this inspection will start. Earlier, you used to pay, less taxes. Now Government of India will come and do the inspection in the surrounding areas and ask everybody how many factories this person has. So I have told the government only one factory, but government finds out 5 factories. Government says, beta, pay 5 times taxes. Which means I have to pay more taxes, I have to take care of my workers, I have to give them social security, I have to take care of their health insurance. These are the problems I face. So I was very reluctant to give this data to the Government of India, so I never used to register. Now what is happening? If I need any help from the government, first register. So now the moment I register, government gets to know about me. So I have to decide whether I want to do this or not. But MSMEs have decided otherwise. They have said, okay, let's register. Otherwise, government will not give us any support. So what has happened? From 10%, the number of registered MSME has increased to 70 to 75%. That's the number. And government is doing the inspection now. So guys, if somebody will ask you, what is the aim of Mudra Yojana? The direct aim of Mudra Yojana is to provide financial assistance. But what is the indirect aim of Mudra Yojana along with Udyam portal? Indirect aim is to increase registration. Who asked this question in UPSC? UPSC asked the question. Dekho, look at this question, please. Because this question, let me see if I got this today or not. Might be having it. Hai na ye? This question. Have a look at this, please. Prelims 2016. Formalization of MSA. Very good. Have a look at this question, please. Read it, please. You will not see it as a direct question. There is something hidden. See, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is aimed at. It is important to see UPSC questions. Bringing the small enterprises into formal financial system. Number 2 is providing loans to poor farmers. Providing loans to poor farmers. Farmers means MSMEs. No. Providing pension to old and destitute person. Is it a pension scheme? No. Funding the voluntary organization involved in promotion of skill development. Is it a program for skill development? Where is skill? No. What is the A? B, bringing the small entrepreneurs into formal financial system. Which means that it's not only to provide money, but it is to provide them money through formal channel of banking, and now also to encourage more MSMEs to register themselves. So if the same question will be asked today, how will the statement change? The statement will say that PM Mudra Yojana also aims to increase registration of MSMEs. Yes. Because now you have combined Mudra Yojana with Udyam portal. So sometimes what happens is, instead of giving you direct options, UPSC will add a few things like formal financial system, or they will say that Mudra Yojana also aims to increase registration of MSMEs. Yes, because without registration, no Mudra Yojana. This is the type of question asked in UPSC. बच्चों एक चीज ध्यान देना, I am telling you, if you want to crack the exam, and that is what I tell all the batches wherever I go to teach, always remember that this is competitive exam, and in a competitive exam there is a certain way of thought process. There is a certain way in which the examiners will frame the question. If your thought process aligns with that process, your number of attempts will reduce. And till the time you resist this and you say that, nah, I will study in my own way, that's a problem. Because if you study in your own way thinking that my way is the best way, then it might not be aligned with UPSC and more attempts will be required, because then it will take time for you to start thinking like this. So when we have a class like this, for example, you have joined a module which is specifically designed for UPSC type of economics. So the best takeaway from these type of courses is, don't take only economics from this class. Economics तो आप कहीं से भी सीख सकते हो, learn it from anywhere. But why are you there in the class? Because you have to mold your thought process towards UPSC exactly in the way that examination questions are framed. So suppose I sit and start making questions for UPSC. How will I think? What will be my thought process? That is what we have to learn here in the classroom. Okay? So that's why our thought process has to be slightly different. So imagine if somebody is learning Mudra Yojana and saying, under Mudra Yojana, collateral free loan is provided to the MSMEs, full stop. Now the target is 20 lakh rupees. This is a bogus way of studying. It doesn't help to crack the exam. You have to connect it with two things. First, formal financial system, and currently, because this is an old question, currently since 2020, what did I tell you? Udyam portal has been added to it. So currently you have to say that Mudra Yojana is also promoting formalization of MSMEs, registration of MSMEs. That's a new point that you got to write for this UPSC exam. Please write that Mudra Yojana. So what's the answer? Answer is A. Mudra Yojana is also promoting formalization of MSMEs. Is also promoting formalization of MSMEs in India. Formalization of MSMEs in India. Read this question, please, and answer. Question for you. This is not a UPSC question, this is a question for practice. Please answer. Consider the following statements regarding PM Mudra Yojana. It provides incubation to MSMEs. What is the meaning of incubation? That we'll study in tomorrow's lecture, but I can tell you very briefly. This I have framed for you by taking some parts from startups and some parts from MSME. Two sections. What is the meaning of incubation? Incubation means training. So under Mudra Yojana, are we giving training to anybody? That's obviously wrong. So first is wrong. Second, it provides collateral free funding to MSMEs. Absolutely correct. It is collateral free funding. And third is, the highest amount is offered under Tarun category. True or false? Because highest category is Tarun only. So here, I have not mentioned the amount. Everybody knows the amount. Now it's 20 lakhs. But in UPSC, what will have a highest category? You might get highest category, but I have never heard this. No, yes, we have heard this. Highest category is Tarun, which is 20 lakh rupees. So what UPSC can do is sometimes they remove data and they convert it into this type of literature. So first is, it provides incubation, absolutely incorrect. This is funding, which is correct. And third is correct. Ab dekho ye, why this option? Why did I feel the need to give this option? The reason was that there are many industries in India who get training by Government of India. And Government of India is not giving any training to MSMEs, which is not a good thing. Which means the limitation of Mudra Yojana is that you are only giving cash and no training. It's like, imagine that I come to your class and I start giving you handout, and then we both start listening to songs for 3 hours. The class is over and we'll say, yeah, finally we have the handout, we'll crack the exam. So loan is like that handout. Loan cannot help you all the time. Along with loan, you also need capabilities and this type of discussion sessions. Which means that this Mudra Yojana, when it was designed, okay, I agree it was required. But this Mudra Yojana's nature should have changed a little. Did the government feel it? Yeah, government felt it. And when the government felt it, they changed the nature and they said, now I will give training also. Under which scheme? That I'll tell you later. So the next scheme's name is, please write the third scheme. You are asking something. Street vendors are not MSMEs. Not Udyam portal. I said that street vendors are given certificate by municipalities. So they are not registered under Udyam portal. Don't be confused about it. Only municipality has the authority to give license to street vendors. Nobody else in India. Okay. Now please write. So guys, can you tell me what is the meaning of this word called Sphurti? It's a Hindi word. The name of the scheme is this Hindi word only is Sphurti. But if you convert it into English literature, Sphurti means agility, re-energize something. To give re-energy, which means that suppose somebody is very tired and feeling that no, I can't do this, I'm being lazy or I'm exhausted. Somebody comes and gives me a glass of glucose. Somebody says, have glucose, have sugar, it will increase metabolism and release energy. So that's re-energizing because now I'll become more active, right? Physically, emotionally, more active. So that's called Sphurti, that's called re-energizing something, boosting the energy, yes. So your friend is saying, like my parents give me bone vita for that. Sahi bol raha, absolutely. So guys, there is a scheme by Government of India which is called as Sphurti. For the time being, just write this. Please write Sphurti, third scheme. How many schemes have we done? 2. First we did Udyam, second is Mudra. Second is Mudra. Third is Sphurti. Please write Sphurti. And let me tell you a small story related to Sphurti, then we'll write this. Iske upar, I think that I should give you a small handout by giving you like one line on each of the scheme. So plus these MCQs. So when you meet me for the question answer session, that day I will give you a consolidated handout with all the MCQ questions, mains related questions, along with these MCQs, along with some of the schemes where I will just mention the schemes, their full form, etc., one line on each, so that you have some ready-made material for revision. This I will do. But the exhaustive thing we are going to write in the class. The real material will be in the class notes. It will not be in the handouts. In the handouts, just for quick revision, etc. Fine. That's the change. Now, see, if I convert this entire lecture into hand out the MSMEs, then what I'll have to do is I'll have to take a notes from you and I will have to type the entire note, which means the notes will be 100% like your handout. So why do you need that? Because I'm already dictating everything to you. And I told you the reason why I'm not giving you the handout. Because I'm already dictating it and we are having an exhaustive discussion on that. So please don't substitute the class discussion and the dictations with handout. Handout are very poor things to use for UPSC. Handout should be used as a supporting material, not as a main material. So don't go by that. I'm changing the model from this year and this is what we'll do. You will get a very thin handout. At the end of your lecture, you will have this much of handout and this much of class notes. Okay, cool. Now, so please write Sphurti. Let me explain what is Sphurti. Do you remember that foxnuts and makhanas? So let me give you that example from Bihar. So quickly, please draw a diagram. Fatafat, draw a diagram, please, like this. So there is a big facility like this. This is a big hall. Now, these are the machines. These are the setups inside this big hall. This hall is called as common facility. It's like a library. What is the purpose of a library? For example, as a student, I can go inside. I can take this book. Suppose it's a book. I can take the book, read, pay the fee, monthly fee, 100 rupees, 200 rupees. I can finish the book, make notes and come out. That's it. Somebody else can come use the same book and again come out. So what has the Government of India done? Government of India went to Bihar, Darbhanga region. Government of India opened this common facility and Government of India said, all the people who are in makhana cultivation, if you are in foxnuts, makhana cultivation, so let's say Government of India says, I want to bring 500 artisans or producers. If you are doing Madhubani paintings in Bihar, for example, that painting, or if you are creating earthen pots, or if you are into makhanas, so either you are artisan means let's say painters, etc., or you are producer of makhanas. Both are allowed under this. So 500 people will be called and Government of India says, I will create a facility like this where all the 500 people, even at one go, they can enter and convert their products like raw makhanas into processed makhanas, a very tasty makhanas. There will be facility for heating it. There will be facility for adding preservatives, facility for converting it into small packets. And then Government of India says it doesn't stop there. Then I will help you export it as well. Because we studied something called one district, one product. And then we studied that under one district, one product, only one unique product is selected. What about other products? This is a secondary product. But suppose there are 5 products in a district, then what do? That's your jugaad. That's your jugaad. So Government of India says, I don't have money to provide help individually, but I can create a common center like this, common facility. You please come here like a library, use the facility, and you don't have to pay any fee. Nothing has to be paid. Come, use, leave. And suppose that to create this facility, how much money is required? Government of India has made a calculation that across India, to create this kind of common facility, the budget that the government has kept is roughly 1.5 crores. And this is spent by central government as a grant, which means central government doesn't take this money from anybody else. State governments don't have to contribute, people don't have to contribute. Only thing state government has to give is this piece of land. And center will contribute 1.5 crore, creates the infrastructure. But if the number of people exceed 500, then Government of India says, okay, then I will give 1.5 plus 1.5, 3 crore rupees. So up to 500 people, 1.5 crore. 500 to 1000 people, 3 crores. More than 1000 people, then the crores starts to increase. 5 crores. Maximum up to 8 crore rupees government will give under the scheme. And government says, suppose I create a very big center, something like this, a center like this. Why? Because let's say there are 2000 artisans. Big center is created. So 8 crore rupees government says, I will release. But if there are more than this people, then government says, this size cannot increase. Then I will open a small center again. Again 1.5 crore. So maximum that the government will do is 1.5, 3 and then 8. But if there are more people who are interested in these kind of community centers, then again 1.5 wala small center will start. Maximum size is this because land is also required. No, this type of scheme is called as Sphurti. What is the beauty of this scheme? This type of scheme is called as cluster model. So if you have to understand cluster model, you have to use the word group in your mind. Remember cluster approach, industrial cluster. What did we do in industrial cluster under National Industrial Corridor Program? We opened a group of industry in Tamil Nadu, group of industries in UP. Remember that cluster model. So what are we doing here? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 set of production units, cluster. This is cluster. Inside this, there are small facilities, machines, cluster. There will be another set of machines called as clusters. So Government of India is trying to open clusters. Why? Because through cluster, more facilities can be provided at low cost. So for government, it's very cost effective. Under one roof, open a library, let everybody use it. So please write. Under the scheme, the center provides grants. Center provides grants in the bracket 1.5 crore to 8 crores. 1.5 crore to 8 crores. To the artisans and producers, to improve traditional business. Full stop. Support is also provided for export. It is based on cluster approach. Done, guys? So, the remaining part I want to do tomorrow. We'll start the remaining schemes. Like few schemes are left, but I want to do it tomorrow. The reason being that all the schemes that you see which are there, if we start this scheme will go for half an hour. But in next, I think 10 minutes, there will be another class here. So I think it won't be possible. So this will take half an hour because this is the biggest change that has happened in India in last 1 year. How can we not study this with full force? So that's called Aspire scheme. Lot of change has happened here. And this is called MSME Champions. Huge change has happened here. And after this, there are 2-3 more things that I will teach you because these are new things. For example, one is Samadhan, it came in the newspaper, by the way. So if you are reading newspaper since last 2 months, something came related to this scheme, which is connected with taxation of India, GST. This is connected with GST. So this we have to understand by also understanding small concept of GST. And then there is one more scheme which we will do, which is called Sambandh. Samadhan means solution and Sambandh means relations. So we have to understand this also, and I think this will be the Lahan. There is one more scheme, which is this. So what I have decided is I'll give you a small handout on MSMEs, most preferably in that answer writing session. In that handout, as I told you, I'll give you pictures like this. I'll give you very small pictures like this, some facts, etc., which can be used as ready material for revision before prelims and mains. Hardly 1 or 2 sheets. It becomes easy. But when it comes to mains, you simply have to open your notes and revise. It becomes your mains preparation. When you open these handouts that I give you, easily you can qualify the prelims using those fact sheets. So this year, the orientation of notes will be slightly different. Exhaustive notes, handwritten, very, very ready to swallow and ready to understand notes will be the printed notes. So slightly different. Okay? So we'll do this tomorrow. So guys, tell me if anything is there which bothered you, or is it okay? Swanidhi, you can write. Please likh lo. Swanidhi, I didn't give you the dictation, no? Likh lo. Though Swanidhi is not considered under MSME, but just write it. Please write, because I don't want to leave anything, because tomorrow we might not be able to memorize. So please write, Swanidhi. So please write that it is implemented by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. That's the first point, right? Bullet points, okay? What is the launch year? 2020, Atmanirbhar Bharat. Urban Affairs, not Affairs. Ministry of Housing and... He's so innocent. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Don't write Ministry of Affairs. Very innocent kid. Right? Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. Right. Launch year, number 2, second bullet, launch year 2020. Third point. Loan is equal to, you write like this, loan is equal to rupees 10,000. Then you put an arrow, which means first you will get this much only. And then you write 20,000. And then you write 50,000. Right, that's the next bullet. Then you write, please, interest subvention is equal to 7%. Interest subvention is equal to 7%. And then please write cash back is equal to rupees 100. Cash back is equal to rupees 100 for every transaction through digital means. Which means if you return the EMI, if you pay the EMI through UPI, etc., then you get cash back of 100 rupees per transaction. Okay? But there is a maximum limit. Every year, the maximum cashback that you can get every year is 1200 rupees only. Ab ye nahi that every month you are making the transaction 5 times. Right? Same EMI you are giving in a breakup manner. Okay, you break the EMI, split the EMI into 5 parts, 100 rupees. So maximum is, Indians are smart. We know how to beat the system. So 1200 rupees is the maximum. Now, yeah, I think this is okay for prelims part. One of your friend has written a question. Just please just read it, answer it, and then we'll call it off. So your friend has said that one question is bothering me. That is, let's say Tata Power, which is aggressively investing in green energy, since it's already a large corporation, let's say it goes back to a bank for loan and for its renewable energy project, then would it also come under PSL, or is it only for MSMEs and weaker and disadvantaged section? No, actually Tata Power will also qualify for PSL, but then the government of India will examine that are you getting loan through other methods or not. If you are getting loans under other method and your Tata Power is not a separate company, suppose Tata Power is just a part of a bigger company called Tata Group, then you don't qualify. But if Tata has registered Tata Power as a separate company, so same individual can register 20 companies, that's not a problem. So if I register a company called Tata Power and that company only caters to renewable energy, then I become eligible for priority sector lending. Even if I'm Tata, I'm eligible for that. Call it a loophole of the system, but yeah, they do become eligible. So I think PLI is best suited for MSMEs more than large industries. सही कह रहे हो. In fact, the production linked incentive scheme should be more given to MSMEs so that they can also become big in life. Absolutely very good point, and I agree. Incubation for today's lecture, Rajan, incubation would mean a training facility. But for tomorrow's lecture, you will see the technical meaning of incubation. How MSMEs play important role in balanced regional development? Very simple, because the MSMEs are getting opened more in the rural area. So what has happened is most of the employment that was generated in India was created in urban areas. MSMEs are balancing it out. So regional development is also happening. Mudra Yojana promotes financial inclusion. 100% yes. When we do banking, you will realize that everything that we are studying promotes financial inclusion. What will we write in the data book today? So what you will write in the data book, the entire data related to MSMEs that I gave you, their contribution in GDP, employment, production, number of variety of items, all these things, total number of MSMEs, 6.3 crore, how many MSMEs are registered, 4.4 crores, all these things you will write in your data book under a section called MSMEs. And then you should keep 2-3 pages vacant so that in future when we do the updates, because after a month or two, we'll again do the updates when it comes in the newspaper. So then you should update them. So 2-3 pages, you should keep it open. Swanidhi is also a government effort. Absolutely correct. Swanidhi is the government effort, but Swanidhi is only meant for street vendors, not for MSMEs. But yes, you can write it under MSME scheme by saying that government is also extending MSME type of benefits to street vendor, type of benefits. So yes, you can do that. The remaining part, okay. What is data? We said 40% industrial production. Does it mean around? No, Manu. Actually, 40% of the industrial production would mean we are talking about volume, and 7,000 items would mean type of items. So let's say that this is one type of item. The water bottle is another type of item. So ऐसे करके 7,000 type of items, right? All right.
What's the use of launching company in parent group when they are getting MSME benefit if they launch?
There are various schemes meant for various companies. So for example, let's say that I know that maximum is 1,200 rupees, correct. So for example, I know that renewable energy will be covered under priority sector lending. So I will never launch a company in the parent group. I'll create a separate entity and get the benefits. But I know that for automobile, there is no such scheme. So what will I do? I'll create a big automobile enterprise and I'll eat up all the small ones. So it depends on which sector you are operating. Like for telecom, what did Jio do? Jio opened a new company. Why? Because under telecom, the government was providing subsidies to the companies saying, create more telecom network and towers because India wants more internet, more telephone connection. They opened a separate company. But if government of India would have said, no, for telecom, I'm not going to give another separate benefit, then Reliance Group would not have created Jio. They would have said that Jio is a part of bigger Reliance Group only. But currently, they have separated it out. So it depends on what they are doing. I've already explained that if, for every EMI, I'm again repeating, for every EMI transaction, monthly you get 100 rupees. In 1 year, how many EMIs will you pay? 12. So 12 into 100, 1,200 rupees. Maximum is 1,200 rupees every year. All right. What do you mean by industrial production in MSMEs? Total industrial production. For example, let's say I have an industry which produces pen. So every year I produce 100 pens. So my industrial production is 100. So collect the name of all the MSMEs of India and in front of them start writing how many units of the product they produced. That becomes and add it. That becomes the industrial production. Yes, Swanidhi 2020 under Atmanirbhar Bharat. Absolutely, under Atmanirbhar Bharat 2020. Most welcome. Wow, very nice. What was that? Artificial intelligence? All right, thank you so much, guys. So, see you, have a good day, and let's meet tomorrow then.